Another doomsday sermon from the left-wing choir. Global warming, just the latest cold hit. Let's rock the truth. Your lefties scream the sky is falling, ice caps melting fast. Arctic on by 2014, kiss my ass, that didn't last. Ice is piling up now, thicker than your lies. Miami streets flooding, dry as bone under Florida skies. Back in 75, you preached a coming ice age freeze. Global cool and doom, now that's a real disease. But temps went up, your predictions bombed, just like Y2K. Planes crashing, all coming bombed. It's all a hoax, a money grab, fear to fill their banks. Blind obedience to the code. Thanks, but no thanks. Global warming hoax, the left's deranged religion, screaming end of days. But it's all fiction. Pour more cash in, fix the planet's pain. But none of it happened. Again and again, you worship at the altar of climate change lies, debunked and disproven. Open your eyes, it's a cult of doom. Lefties on their knees, global warming hoax, set us free. Ozone hole apocalypse, skin cancer epidemic scare. CFC's killing us all, treaty fixed it, but who cares? Acid rain melting forests, crops dying in the field. Regulations came and poof, your doom was healed. Over population collapse, billions starving dead. Green revolution saved us, off with your head. Peak oil by 2000, energy crash and burn. Tech drill deeper your facts, we overturn. Strong worded truth, you're fixated on the end. Doomsday addicts, money's your best friend. Global warming hoax, the left's deranged religion, screaming end of days. But it's all fiction. Pour more cash in, fix the planet's pain. But none of it happened. Again and again, you worship at the altar of climate change lies, debunked and disproven. Open your eyes, it's a cult of doom. Lefties on their knees, global warming hoax, set us free. Heavier than air flight, impossible, you said. Right brothers laughed. Haley's comet cyanide, panic for nothing, what a gaffe. Nuclear meltdowns everywhere, ulcers from stress alone. Bacteria busted that myth, left you on your throne. Famines in the 70s, society crumbling down. Innovation crushed your fears, wear that clown crown. Blind faith in science fiction, never proven right. Global warming code. Good night. Left's doomsday fixation, debunked every time. Global warming hoax, rock on, truth, fade to black.
Why did it do that? It cut the music off. Why would it do that? Oh my God. Hi everybody. Wow, just absolutely amazing that I hit a button and it shuts off the music just like that. That really sucks. But what are you gonna do when it does its own thing? Shit. And I just mapped it again and it's still not working. So I don't know. I don't care at this point. Let's just move on. Hello, everybody, and welcome. This is Starship Adventures, broadcasting live tonight from Starship Studios in Southwest Florida. That's in the Fort Myers area. And I'm here tonight with several co-hosts. I've got Daddy Kitty here tonight. Say hi, Daddy Kitty. He originally was named Goldie by the neighbor, and then he got a really bad broken leg and ran away, and we couldn't get him, and it was really bad. And then he came back, and his leg was better, and then we called him BLC for Broken Leg Kitty, but that was a terrible name, so we changed that. And now, because of the way he takes care of all the little kittens that we take in sometimes from time to time, we call him Daddy Kitty because he loves all the little kittens. He's taking care of one up there right now. All right, so there you go. Let's get back to the grid. There's not a whole lot going on tonight, guys. I got to be honest. Oh, hey, look, there's the music when I go back to the grid. I wonder why that's doing that. It's funny, I don't hear the music. Boy, I've got some real issues here. All right, I'll turn that I see where it's coming through. Sorry about that. Guys, I don't know. There's something. It's Bill Gates' fault. I just don't know what's going on. You know, I know who to blame. It's definitely Bill Gates. But I don't know. Why is Windows so shitty at handling audio? I don't get it. I'm sitting here, I turn down the audio input C slider, and I look over, and I've got audio input capture, and it's sitting there just going wild with music, and it's not set to forward it through to my desktop, so I don't hear it. And so that's what just happened there. That just sucks. Sorry about that, guys. Bill Gates is at the island. I love it. Yeah, but anyway, yeah, this is Daddy Kitty, and he's going to be co-hosting tonight with me, along with Mama Kitty. She's back in the chair back here at workstation number 1. All right, so there you go. Yeah, it's a slow night here. I don't expect a big crowd tonight. But yeah, we're gonna be all right. Daddy Kitty is about 10 years old, and he had a stroke about 2 or 3 months ago, and he walks crooked now, and he falls down and stuff. But that's all right. He still has a quality of life. He's eating, drinking, pooping, and peeing, and that's and he doesn't seem to be in any pain. So we've kept him around, haven't we? See, he's all crooked. He's weird. Yeah, he's had a stroke. I've had several loved ones that have had that lately. Yeah, hello everybody for coming in tonight. There's a lot of folks coming in. I'd like to welcome them. Would you stop? I need to be able to use the mouse. He likes to hit my hand while I'm mousing. Anyway, comics and robotics, welcome in tonight. Let's see, what else do we got? Yeah, Daddy Kitty. Yeah, he does. He's a big old mess, but he's a good cat. He's technically an outdoor cat, although I have a cat door and they spend much of their time inside. And Oh, well, comics, I appreciate that. Thank you very much. That supports the channel, and it gives you something in the background. So that's awesome. I appreciate that. Yeah, well, just wait. This is pretty funny. I took a few hours this morning, and I worked some more on my Trump and All project. You guys know the Trump and All project, and if you don't, just give it a few minutes to get a few more people in here. But anyway. Yeah, last night, we're never going to get solid numbers, but it looks like we know for a fact 6.1 million was the official on YouTube. 6.1 million consecutive viewers. Now, total viewers is going to be higher than that. And it is one of the top 20 all-time live feeds on YouTube. So, Turning Point USA alternate halftime show was a great success, and it also it got a lot of viewership in a lot of different places. It wasn't just on YouTube. We figure it probably doubled what was on YouTube when you figure all the Christian broadcast networks. There was even some other broadcast networks, some satellite networks, and Roku and Samsung TV. There was a bunch of different services that were carrying it, and so yeah, I think it was good. A Trump enema. I'll do one of those. That's a good one. I'm actually looking for ideas. Because, yeah, you got to come up with good ideas. I'll just give it 5 more minutes and I'll go through these with you. I think you'll like them. But yeah, you do. You got to come up with ideas. And I use AI to help me come up with ideas. But AI is kind of dry and it doesn't really... I don't know. It comes up with funny quips and then you have to kind of make those work. You have to go through them and use those to inspire you to find other things to put in. You know what I mean? In the meantime, I'll tell you what happened today for the very first time. I ordered this hard drive at work. I went to work. My boss sent out an email. My boss, Jeff, he sent out an email. He said, hey, guys, the new system at the new building, they may not copy your files over. And we don't know. And if you need your files, it might be a problem. And so he suggested that we get all the stuff we need off the drives at work. Well, I've got 14 years of history on them drives at work. So I went online and I ordered a hard drive, the 2 TB hard drive, so that I could plug this in at work and I can just tell it, copy everything out of the computer into this, because all my shit is like 500 gigabytes total for all the years. It's all audio. Remember, I'm in radio, not TV. So I'm going to just go in there and copy all of my drives and the drive show drives into this hard drive. And then I'm going to come home and whatever's left, there'll be a lot left because this is a 2 TB. And I'm going to come home and I'm going to hook it up to mine and I'm going to back up a bunch of shit off of mine as well. And then I'm going to unplug it and put it back in this box and stick it up on the shelf up there. And that's what I'm going to do. All right. But the reason I brought this up that I almost just forgot to tell you about, for the first time. Amazon kept saying that they're going to have an instant delivery center in my town. It's coming up. I don't know what they call it. They don't call it that, but they call it something. And we put up with slow deliveries here for about a year while they were building this facility. My deliveries were coming out of Venice in Sarasota County, 2 counties away. And finally, they've got our new distribution center open. I ordered this today at 4 p.m. and the guy threw it over my fence at 8:35 p.m. 4 hours and 35 minutes. That's badass. The only thing quicker than that's have a drone drop it in my yard. I mean, I don't know what else you're going to do. I was very happy with that. And Amazon has pissed me off a little bit here and there lately because of this, but I think now they've got their shit together. And I'm starting to notice things come up and say same day delivery now. I'm like, whoa, same day delivery. But this was the first time I did it. It came in 4 hours and 35 minutes. Freaking A. Yeah, that's super fast. Yeah, there's still people that like live in Alaska. It takes a week to get them a FedEx package, but not here. We're growing so fast down here that we're kind of like a big city. It's just we're not. We're not, because we're so conservative down here. You don't see things lumping up in big, huge urban areas. And we have urban areas. They're all 2 hours away. Tampa to the north, Orlando to the northeast, Miami to the southeast, and of course West Palm to the east. We've got huge cities. They're all 2 hours away, except Orlando's about 2, almost 3. Yeah, that's Daddy Kitty. Say hi, Daddy. Oh, that's my boy. This is Daddy Kitty. And he was the neighbor's cat. The neighbor died. He got a broken leg really bad. We tried to catch him to put him down, and he wouldn't let us catch him. And he went away and came back, and his leg was better. So I renamed him Daddy Kitty because he loves kittens. All right. A manatee rescue from a storm. Bless their hearts, man. Those manatees, they're so simple. And they really have no control over anything, not even themselves sometimes. And we have those here, and we certainly do look out for them down here. Neighbor, I know. I bought this one. It's a cheapie. I know. I bought it. I have to get those files off of there in the next 3 or 4 days, and I can't afford a $250 hard drive. So I bought the $79 one. That's what I did. But I'm not leaving it plugged in. It's gonna be put on there, and it's all gonna be unplugged. And then as soon as I can afford a bigger one, I'm gonna mirror that one over to another one, and then put it back in the box and stick it up there again. I'm starting to get a little hoardy on my digital stuff. No, she's not all that happy, but she's okay. She's back there in the chair. I just gave her a big old plate of wet food. She just got a huge plate of wet food. Daddy's been sleeping in the bedroom with me. Blue's been sleeping in there. Ed's been sleeping in there. And Littles is sleeping in there. And Teddy is sleeping in there. So I have 5 cats sleeping with me. And on really cold nights, I put Shadow in here. And then I've got a box outside that's all covered up that stays a little warmer for the cats. They also can go in the house. They have a cat door to get into part of the house. That part doesn't get a lot of heat, but it does stay warmer in there. Even when we're in the 30s outside, it stays like in the 50s in there, so it's not so bad. They have a way to get out of it, but they all been sleeping in with me because it's been cold and I got heat. And of course, out here you don't need heat; it just stays hot. Yeah. The new Star Trek is terrible. The new Star Trek is dismal. It's really bad. Canna Club. It's horrible. I'm beyond disappointed. I'm so disappointed. and I'm telling you, this is pretty bad. I'm so disappointed that I put together a slideshow and I also wrote music. And so that's how disappointment I am in this new Alex Kurtzman Star Trek Woke Fleet Academy. It's just an absolutely terrible, terrible, disgusting show. Here, I'm going to show you my slideshow because I think it's that important. Yeah, it's all woke Trek. It's all frickin' woke Trek. It's Kurtzman Trek, Woke Fleet Academy. It's all crazy. I don't understand how out of shape people can be in the most rigorous. I want you to think about it. Now, those of you who are into Star Trek, I want you to think back to Next Generation. I want you to think back to when Wesley Crusher was trying to get into the Academy. Okay? Wesley could run. Wesley was strong. Wesley was the smartest kid you've ever met in your life. And he still had a hard time getting in to Starfleet Academy. Starfleet Academy is supposed to be a big damn deal, right? If you're going to scratch, you got to bring your foot all the way up to your ear. There you go. His cat had a stroke. Sometimes he's scratching, but he's like way over here somewhere. Yeah, it's bad. It's really bad. They demasculated it. I think I'm saying that right. Yes, that's not a word I use very often. But yes, they did. They feminized. It's Femi-Trek with that woman that's got shit in her mouth. She always talks like this. She's a chancellor of the Woke Trek Star Trek Academy. And when she does her monologues, her voiceovers are really bad too. Yeah, I don't understand how. And please, if you're overweight, please understand I'm overweight. Okay, belly, cortisol belly going on. I'm overweight. Okay, so when I say this, it's out of love. You can't be 340 pounds and be the second in command of the Starfleet Academy. What the F? Dude, let me tell you, look at the Marine Corps today. What do you think the Marine Corps should look like in 1,000 years? That's what it should look like. This is it's a quasi-military academy that they're going to. And everybody that's in the academy, everybody, has all kinds of issues. I think you turn the audio on. Yeah, would you stop kicking? That's the outside audio. Don't turn that on again. All right, so yeah, he's an awesome cat. He had a stroke. He's 10 years old, but he is hanging in there. Yeah, neighbor, they don't care. Alex Kurtzman, he wanted to ruin Star Trek. He wants to ruin Star Trek. I mean, look at it. Oh my God, it's gay Trek. It's great. It's gay Trek. Homo Academy. That's exactly what it is. Uh-oh, here comes the mama kitty. This ought to be good. Hi, Mama. Are you mad? He's just going to be in for a little while. I'll take him in the bedroom when I go in. Okay? He knows that she's pissed. He's like, oh, God, she's mad. Oh, Jesus. Now what am I going to do? I got to put up with her. I'm not giving up my ground, though. Notice he didn't give up any ground. He's like, yeah, I'm keeping my ground. Oh, he reached out to her. I don't know if this is going to be good or bad. She is pissed. She is pissed. Mama, are you mad? Are you mad? Would you tell me if you were mad? What's wrong? He's just hanging out. He helped take care of your babies. Don't you remember that? My goodness, I don't know. I don't know if she remembers it or not. Kurtzman Trek, Woke Fleet Academy, coming to some overpaid service near you. Rated D for dumb. Kurtzman Trek, Woke Fleet Academy. A new piece of shit drops every Thursday. Yeah, Mama, this is Mama's house out here. And when the other cats come in here, she gets a little bit out of shape. But she's all right. She's not upset. She's all right. Every now and then she'll walk over with these guys will be in here, him or Gray, Ed Earl. I call him Gray sometimes, but Ed Earl, he'll be in here and she'll literally walk up like everything's okay and then just slap the shit out of him. And I mean hard. She does not mess around, dude. The new turd drops every Thursday morning. Yeah, right after midnight. Just drops right out of the Kurtzman turd hole. Oh boy. Yeah, the bar, I can't let you, I can't play the actual music, but the bar is the Elbow Room. And that's down in, I think it's either in Lauderdale or West Palm. It's over there north of Miami. It's about 2 hours. I could drive for 2 hours and get there before they close. Carlotta and I have actually sat and drank in here and captured ourselves on the cameras. There's 3 or 4 cameras in there. You can look it up. Just go to YouTube and type Elbow Room and it will come right up. But yeah, they got great cameras. They take good care of them. And we've seen some good fights on this camera. We've seen some fights where the band just keeps like throwing them away from the band equipment and shit. It's pretty good. We used to on Carlotta's channel. So if she's here, she'll do shows where she covers all the bars, and it's pretty cool because she'll have like 10 different bars they're covering, and she doesn't do it with a grid like I do, but she'll go from bar to bar to bar and maybe a split screen or something. But it's pretty cool. Key West cams. Yeah, I do Fantasy Fest. She used to cover it. She's not doing it much anymore. So as long as she's not covering it, because we don't compete, you know, we're cooperative channels, so we don't compete with each other. But as long as she is not doing it, I will be doing it on here. This last time it happened, I happened to be up at my cabin during the week, so all we did was the last couple days, unfortunately. But next year, I'm going to try to plan it better so I'll be able to do the whole week, and it'll be part of our broadcast every night. It's a shame Waffle House doesn't have webcam. Yeah, we've had some wild shit happen at our Waffle Houses here. Man, I love me some awful waffle, man. I go in there and get that little strip steak. I get my potatoes plain. I know a lot of you guys love the scattered, smothered, covered, trunk, diced, and topped, but not me. I get them plain. But yeah, they got some good food in there. That is some true roadside greasy spoon grub right there, and I love it. I endorse it. But that's also why my colon's about to drop out of my ass at some point. Anyway, there you go. So what else is going on, guys? What do we got going on? I will tell you there's not a lot out there. I will go through space weather. I will go through the news. As far as space weather goes right now, we are still watching that comet as it gets closer and closer, but there's no new news on that. It looks like it will get close enough in April that you'll be able to easily see it with the naked eye. So that's going to be really cool. A naked eye comet coming. We also have a continued chance of X flares. Giant sunspot 4366. It actually quieted down now for like the last 3 or 4 days. Nevertheless, it still poses a threat for X flares. And so we are watching this sunspot as it has an unstable beta gamma delta magnetic field that could explode at just any time. So that's really the only thing going on with space weather. Remember, we are at the top of the space weather cycle right now. And so because of that, we're seeing a lot of increased solar activity right now. But that's what there is going on with that. As far as seismic activity, there has not been a lot of seismic activity over the last 24 hours. There was just a little teeny baby one way over in on the west coast over there, but it was a 2.5. And so we're not even going to worry about that. But no, there was really not a lot of stuff on the seismic monitor. We are monitoring the volcano up there that we've been monitoring now for about a week, and she's still spitting up there, doing her thing. Let's see here. Yeah, and Kilauea, I just looked at, and there's really nothing new going on there. But anyway, yeah, it's still just steaming. Um, the one we're watching here, this is Fuego. Fuego is in Guatemala, and that's the one we're watching there in the upper left. That's Fuego. Um, Neighbor, I know, but that would really be mean. And besides, it would take them all 200 years to get another building permit. Let's see. Yeah, if you guys keep. Oh, there it went. It just exploded. Bam! Look at that son of a bitch go. That's live out of Guatemala. I just scared my cat off. She's like, bam, I'm out of here. Wow. Dude, that's like the biggest one I've seen yet. That shit was big. I don't see anything, neighbor. If you guys see any protests, let me know. I'm doing all the normal things that I do to look for them. All the normal guys that do it like me, I don't see any of us out tonight. I'm the only one on because I do a regular show. A lot of these guys go on as something is there to cover. MDG Gaming is on, but as of now, is all he's got to show is an upright cam of a guy riding his bike down the road. So he hasn't found anything. He's the only other guy on. And I don't see, and yes, I give my competition's name. We all share each other's videos. We all give each other, it's all good. I don't care about that. This is a big enough fish pond for all of us. And so, yeah, let's see what else we got here. Um, yeah, they're even, yeah, some of the ones that do sometimes have live video, they're not showing anything. Or I do have Republican Front Lines has one camera up, but it's not it's showing the ground right now. So I'll go ahead and put this up right above me here. So this is the only thing I came up with on this latest search. So let me get this going here. It looks like he's over on all the other socials looking for feeds. So hopefully he'll find some more feeds. We'll leave that up for now. All right. Well, welcome in, everybody. This is the Sights and Sounds of Earth. My name's Ian. My throat's a little rough tonight. So I don't, I'm going to keep going for a couple hours here if I can. We'll see how it goes. The weather we're watching tonight is in the northeast around the Great Lakes region, starting all the way over towards Fargo, and it stretches all the way over and is about to enter into the northeast over there towards Buffalo and points over on that side. So this winter weather, you can see there the green is rain. This is radar Omega, which is a service I pay for so that we have good radar here. This is broadcast level radar. I want to show you guys something that we can do here now. We actually have 3D radar here now, which is really cool. Take a look at this. We can actually go into these storms and we can actually look at them now on a 3D level, and we can zoom in and we can do a bunch of different things. So I find this to be really impressive, and you can zoom right into street level now, which is amazing. And you can add the three-dimensional aspects on there. I'm just playing around with it myself because there's still some new features in here I don't even know how to use yet. But look at that. So we can now examine storms on a three-dimensional basis, and we can pan, tilt, zoom on all three axes. And so can you imagine when we get the big tornadoes, we're going to literally be able to go in and actually look at these things on a three-dimensional scale, which I think is really, really cool. All right, and then that takes us back to here. Okay. Let's change this to basic reflectivity, and you can see there's really not a lot here. I can probably see if we can pull up a couple of cameras here, but it doesn't look like there's a lot here. It's just like light snow. Oh, it's not gonna let me do it, you bastard. There's always a workaround for everything. But yeah, there's a live shot, and there's not a lot up here. We have one storm chaser. He's not broadcasting right now. And that's it. There's really just that snow. Other than that, nationwide, there's really not a lot going on. It's very quiet. All right, so we're just going to leave that up here for this because we're watching this area right here. And I'm going to leave it set on winter mode. There we go, so that you guys can see. Notice when it gets over the Great Lakes, it turns to rain, and then as it gets back over land again, it turns to snow. The lakes tend to hold the warmth a little bit, and they create that temperature difference. That's part of the reason why we get lake effect snow. And so that's a possibility with this too. It's not a traditional setup for that, but you okay? Mama's lungs are filling up again. I don't know. I have to see if I can go get her some medicine. All right. Yeah, that would probably work. A nice cup of hot chocolate or hot coffee would work. Would relax my larynx, but I don't drink hot liquids much, so I don't have the ability here to make them. Radar Omega, the app's pretty good, but when you're using it for broadcasting, it is amazing what you can do with it, and that's why I stick with it. I know there's some other ones that have come out that are just every bit as good. Yes, look at that. Man, it just blew again. Holy crap. Isn't that awesome, guys? I love that shit. You're missing the volcano, Daddy. Why don't you wake up? From the shores of Lake Erie. Well, you are probably getting some snow. Actually, not yet. It's coming. There's, there we go. There's Erie. Yeah, look, I think you guys are going to be getting some snow coming through overnight. Some pretty cold temperatures. The white and the blue is snow. The orange is obviously a wintry mix. And then the green is mostly rain. But you could get just about anything up here. It's a mixed bag. Yeah, thanks for hitting that like and that subscribe button. It does make a difference out here when with our channels. It really does. The YouTube's confirmed that they got 6.1 million last night on that Turning Point USA broadcast. 6.1. That was amazing. Yeah, neighbor, that's the same way with hurricanes too. Trust me. Yeah, no, volcanoes, NIMBY, not in my backyard. I love it. Yeah. Yeah, thanks everybody for reminding about the like button and the subscribe. I'm bad about mentioning it. I'm trying to get better. I don't like to beat you guys up for it, but it really is important. Yeah, I mean, that's the thing people don't realize is when that lava streams down the side like that, That's like a mile of lava. You don't realize the scale because this camera is 5 miles away. Boom! There it goes again. Man, I wish we had sound. That would be cool. I don't think there's sound. I think that's just, is that natural sound? I don't think it is. I think something just cycled, guys, but I think we're back. All right, how about now? That might be actual sound that coming from the volcano, but remember the camera's miles away. Yeah, the volcano's cool. I always look for any of them that are erupting, and we try to cover that because it's something that people are generally interested in. I mean, they can be a lot of fun to watch when they're going up like this. Oh boy, the Nancy Guthrie case, guys. I got to tell you, I just feel so bad for these folks. Let's see. Sheriff says the search expanded and announces a follow-up on new leads. The final deadline for Nancy Guthrie, the mother of NBC Today Show co-host Savannah Guthrie, is set for 5 p.m. local time Monday. That's already come and gone, as you guys know. The FBI has said local Tucson TV KGUN, K-Gun, has previously reported receiving a ransom note demanding $6 million in Bitcoin by this time, although the outlet later removed its post. The search for Nancy Guthrie, the missing 84-year-old mother, is in what is it, day? God, I don't know. It's in its 9th day. It started on Monday, February 9th. No suspect or person of interest have been identified. Actually, yeah. And then the final alleged ransom deadline connected to the disappearance has already come and gone. The FBI is offering a $50,000 reward for information on the disappearance that leads to the recovery of her, dead or alive, and the arrest and conviction of the people involved. Is basically how that works. She posted another video today just pleading with people to help. The source close to the family is saying that there's several things that are being reported that are just not true. It's not the way it happened. And so we're going to have to wait for some clarification on that. Yeah, looks like instead of going to church, she was actually going to watch a live stream of a church service with friends. They've been doing this since COVID. Yeah, it's about to go again. Yes, it does. I think that's actual sound, but it could just be white noise. I don't know. Maybe not. Maybe that is the actual sound. I think it is. The map is of the Northeast, the Great Lakes region, where we've got a bunch of snow moving in tonight. When I don't have a lot of views to cover, I put up all the things that are going on, whether it's in the middle up there, there's a rolling cams from all over the world. The upper right is the Elbow Room Bar. I believe it's in Fort Lauderdale. and of course Fuego in the upper left in Guatemala. That right above me here, this is actually the only live camera we got out of Portland right now where it looks like there is no protest. I don't see anybody out there protesting. The sound in your left ear is what's coming in from Fuego. I'm going to leave that up for a few minutes because I think that's actual nats or natural sound as we call it. So I'm going to leave that up here. Yeah, I did hear that as well, and that's why I think it actually is the sound. And there will be quite a delay because at the speed of sound, this camera is 2, 3, 4, 5. I don't know how many miles away. Why does Portland have so many protests? You got me. I think it's just a high concentration of douchebags. All right, guys, I want to go ahead and show you guys our new sponsors. Well, they're not new sponsors, but our sponsors here on the show actually have some new products, and I want to tell you guys about them tonight. But first, I do want to tell you that this segment of the show is sponsored by Trumpanol. Trumpanol is an amazing medication that's used to treat Trump derangement syndrome. Trumpanol, taken properly, can actually keep you and hold you in a state of reality and make you actually believe that your country is one of the best countries in the world, because it actually is. And Trumpanol is an amazing medication with very few side effects, but there is a few side effects, and you do need to be aware of those. It can cause patriotism, and it will make you want to fly your flag right side up again. So that's Trumpanol. Trumpanol's some pretty good stuff. But if it's not enough, try MagaString Trumpanol. MagaString Trumpanol, with this, if you take a couple of these, next thing you know, you'll be getting off your fat ass and getting a job. You'll be wanting to be an entrepreneur. You're going to start mowing your neighbor's lawns. You're going to feel good about yourself, and you're going to love your country. It's going to be absolutely amazing. And in a few years, you'll be starting your own nuclear family. It's going to be an absolute amazing thing. That's MagaString Trumpanol. Can fix everything right up. And if you just can't swallow it because Big Orange Man is so bad, try fast-acting Trumpanol suppositories. These fast-acting suppositories, when they're... I'm talking faster than my lips can move. Did you notice that? This fast-acting suppository, when shoved up the ass properly, can actually make you feel much better about your worthless life, make you feel much better about all that screaming and yelling you did on social media, and it might actually make you feel better about your country. You'll wake up in the morning feeling much better about everything. So try Trumpanol fast-acting suppositories, because you won't feel better until your asshole feels better. So try those today, Trumpanol suppositories. And if you accidentally mess something up while you're doing that, or maybe the next time an election gets lost, try the new butthurt cream from the makers of Trumpanol. When reality's a pain in the ass, smear this shit on liberally and you'll be all set to go. This is Trumpanol Butthurt Cream. The Trumpanol Butthurt Cream, available today. And we've got a new product here tonight. Have you ever wondered, how can these liberals not see what's going on? How can they not see what's going on in the real world? Well, come to find out, we've actually captured some liberals in their natural habitat, and we've tested them, and what we found is it's something wrong with their eyes. So now we've got specially formulated Trump drops. Trump drops, 2 of these in each eye, and all of a sudden, you'll start to see better again. It's amazing how all it takes is a little bit of Trump drops, and maybe you can start seeing clearly again. And I think that that's going to work out for you. So Trump drops help you see reality again, something you probably haven't seen in quite a long time. And speaking of seeing reality, let's talk about hearing reality. Let's talk about the new Trump MAGA Ears product by the makers of Trumpanol. MAGA Ears, it's amazing. Hear the truth for the very first time. Warning, use of this product may cause you to hear scary realities, and it may take a little bit of getting used to hear how things actually work in the world. But after a few days, you'll suddenly be able to understand things better. And this, along with Trumpanol, can help you back to normalcy, can help you out of that political void that you're in right now and get back to normalcy and get back to loving your country like you used to. There you go, MAGA ears made by the makers of Trumpanol. That's MAGA ears. And are you having a hard time sleeping? Then I definitely suggest Trump PM. Trump PM for those long nights when you just can't stand and you're dreaming about the big orange man and he looks like Godzilla and he's, oh my God, roar, big orange man, it's perfect. And you're like, oh my God, and you can't sleep at night. That's fine. Trumpanol PM. Trumpanol PM will actually give you the night's sleep that you're looking for. And I think that's really important. Another great product that they've come out with, and I really like this one. This is the new Trumpanol brand overreaction ointment. This overreaction ointment, made by the makers of Trumpanol, actually will help you to soothe the burning pain of being an asshole. And you can use this anywhere on your body where you feel an overreaction coming on. And you can actually try this today. This is for rashes that sometimes come from useless protesting, losing large elections, or maybe running from a bad orange man down through the streets in your underwear. But anyway, whatever it is, just smear this shit on liberally and you'll be all set to go. This is Trumpanol Overreaction Ornament, now available over the counter where all these other medications are sold. So you guys can definitely try that. And another great product, because we're hearing that people get diarrhea because they think about Bad Orange Man too much, and they're getting diarrhea and they're shitting out their ass. And it's pretty nasty, and I don't like to talk about it, but you got to talk about it because now we've got the new Preparation Orange. Preparation Orange by the makers of Trumpanol. Preparation Orange, you slather some of this up in there liberally, and next thing you know, you'll be crapping like you got a golden asshole. It'll be absolutely perfect. I'm telling you, it'll be the best poop you've ever taken. I'm telling you, it's going to be good. All right? Preparation Orange. Preparate that asshole. Make sure it's good. Preparation Orange by the makers of Trumpanol. And now, of course, here's one that I think everybody's going to love. The new MAGA. It's going to be huge. The new MAGA pills will actually help your sexual performance. This could make you suddenly patriotic, live like an American, and go all night long. This is the little blue pill you've been waiting for. This is MAGA. If you know what I mean, it's going to be huge. That's right. You need to show your old lady exactly who's commander-in-chief. And as it says on the box, hey, maybe she wouldn't be such a bitch at these protests all the time if you'd throw her a little bit. You know what I mean? So there you go, MAGA. It's going to be huge, MAGA. But get it today and give her what she needs because I think she really needs it. So there you go, MAGA can help all of your problems today by just simply buying some MAGA and taking that shit about 20 minutes before she gets home. Oh, sorry, I made myself laugh. Oh, God, the full line of MAGA products are available wherever MAGA products and other medications and psychedelic drugs are sold. MAGA. Buy it today. The new Trumpanol line of products available at Walgreens, CVS, Publix, and Radio Shack. Justice for Renee Good. You can't give justice to Renee Good. She's dead. If she were alive, we would arrest her for obstruction of justice and attempted murder of a law enforcement officer. But we can't do that because she's dead. You don't charge dead people. My God. Hello? You can't charge dead people. Justice for... I think she deserves justice, but she got it. She fucked around and found out. Sorry, excuse the language. Yeah, I mean, she pretty much got justice. I mean, she tried to run over a cop and she got shot. That's how it works. I mean, that's how it's worked in this country for 250 years. If you try to run over a cop, if 200 years ago you tried to run over a constable with your horse and carriage, he would pull out his musket and shoot you. Nothing has changed, people. Nothing has changed in 200 years except how these liberals think about things. You think so? You think so? I think all the ICE agents that have committed murder will end up in jail, but that hasn't been the case in any of these. You want to know why the instances of incidents are up with ICE related? It's because of all the agitation. If you look at it, all of these different people that are getting shot, that are getting involved, that are getting beat, they're all doing things that are unlawful. They all made bad decisions and they all went out there and did things that were unlawful. And because of their unlawful nature of their activity, they got shot. You don't go to a protest and get into a tussle with cops and bring your gun with you. That's just massively ignorant, okay? Bad decisions led to that situation. Good decisions would have prevented that situation. The same thing with what's-her-face. She gets in her car. She drops her kid off at school. She puts the dog in the back of the car. She drives across town to where she knows that there's police activity, and she interjects herself in police activity, okay? And she repeatedly fails to obey any of the commands that they're given to her. She drives right up in the middle of stuff, okay? And then she, at the last minute there, lurches the van towards a police officer that's standing in front of the van. That's what happens. I'm a former police officer, okay? It wasn't my thing. I was a firefighter full time. I did the cop thing part time. But I was certified, and I will tell you, in this exact same situation, whether I was a cop or whether I was a civilian, it would not have mattered. If someone tried to run over me with their van, I could do exactly what that ICE cop did. That's what they're saying. He's not a real cop. It doesn't matter. It wouldn't matter if he was a civilian. It absolutely wouldn't matter. If you're in front of somebody's vehicle and they lurch the vehicle towards you to try to hit you with it, you have every right to do exactly what that ICE agent did. So let's, I don't know where you want to go with that. The only justice that there would be for her, and she doesn't need to be charged with anything because she's already dead. Yes, lawful commands. They were absolutely lawful commands. When you're driving a vehicle into a convoy and you're causing a reckless situation in the ice, in the snow, there's cops everywhere, and the cops tell you, turn off the vehicle. They need to make the situation safe. Yes, that is a lawful command. Absolutely. That's the thing. No one would be hurt. No one would be shot. No one would be killed had they not messed with the police. They made the choice, the bad choices, to put themselves in those fatal situations. That's the bottom line. And if you don't see it that way, you're unreasonable, uneducated, and you just don't get it, okay? Now, I know I used to be a cop. I understand how it works, and you probably weren't a cop and don't understand how it works. I get that. But open your ears, get some Trump drops, open them ears up, and listen, because myself and 50,000 other cops and former cops from across the country will tell you we are taught in the police academy to do exactly what happened out there. And then when you guys start throwing these stupid words around like murderer and stuff like that, that's just stupid. You look like an idiot when you say stuff like that. Even if it was a bad shoot, it's not a murder. It's a reckless homicide at the very most. So the whole thing, I mean, you just sound ignorant when you go way outside of what the law even says. You just sound ignorant. What does that mean? Minneapolis PD has been neutered. They're being told by their liberal leaders to not act in situations where they are required and should act. Yes, ramming cops with a car Driving a car up and stopping a convoy of police cars is not lawful, and it's not peaceful. Absolutely not. They don't teach you to shoot people in the legs. They don't teach you to shoot tires out. You don't risk your life some. If your life's in danger, you act, and you act decisively. That's what you're taught in the academy. They don't teach cops to shoot warning shots. Matter of fact, warning shots will get you fired. Not allowed. It's dangerous. You're creating a second situation. And you shoot at the threat. How about civilian roadblocks? Thanks for the $2. I appreciate that. Thank you very much, Tony. Well, I don't know what you mean when you say how about civilian roadblocks. I don't know what you mean. If you've got civilians blocking the road, then they need to be arrested. That's against the law. The cops walk up and they put them in cuffs and they take them away, and the road's not blocked anymore. But some places, like in Portland, the police are neutered. In Minneapolis, the police are neutered. No, police are never taught to shoot tires. They're not shot. They're not taught to shoot kneecaps. They're not taught to fire warning shots. They are taught to shoot center mass until the threat is eliminated. Oh, thank you. I appreciate that. Yeah. Yeah, I got the whole thing. I actually got everything on and everything working tonight. So there you go. Look at this. This is the full studio. My name's Ian, and this is Starship Adventures. I'm here tonight with Daddy Kitty and also Mama Bleep. And we are in Southwest Florida, which is in the Fort Myers area. And we broadcast live. This is our 5th year on YouTube. And we are doing good. Thank you, everybody, for being here. It's my pleasure to be your host tonight. It is the first slow night we've had in a while. And we're just kind of sitting tonight and just kind of catching up and figuring out what's going on. And going through some of the things that are up out there. Let me see if I can get that volcano back up again. Of course, it had to start playing an ad. When I switch the screens, it actually reloads everything, which is kind of good in a way. But also, it also resets like the commercials and stuff. So, here, let me set that. There we go. See what it's doing. Oh, it's quiet now. And that's it. I still just have the one shot out of Portland. I see about 4 protesters. Maybe 4. Maybe 5. Hey, there you go. Yep, we obviously don't have Keller's here. I've never heard of it, but that's cool, man. Best burger in Dallas. You know, I love like McDonald's and Burger King on the pinch. I'll get a burger, and it's a good burger, a Whopper or a quarter pounder. But man, you go to like a Chili's or go to some place and get a premium burger, a really nice burger. Man, it's so good. Yeah, I mean, the only cameraman they have out there is a shitty one. Oh, boy. This cat, his name is Daddy Kitty. There's a long story, and I keep saying it every time someone new comes in. So I'm going to give you the real short version. He was the neighbor's cat. The neighbor died. He got run over, broke his back leg. We were trying to catch him to take him and put him down. He ran away because we were chasing him and it scared him, so he ran away with his broken leg. We were heartbroken. We figured he's laying under a tree somewhere dying. He shows back up 40 days later and his leg's fine. He's walking on it. I know I'm telling him the story right now. And everything's fine. So for a while, it was right when AOC became popular and everybody started calling her AOC. So we started calling him BLC, Broken Leg Kitty. And then after a while, we're like, you know, he's not broken leg. I mean, that leg's completely healed. He's doing great right now. Get off the keyboard. he's doing great. So we changed his name, and he anytime we have kittens, and we've got one now that we've taken in, anytime we have kittens, he's the daddy. He goes over, 40 days and 40 nights later, exactly. He showed back up again, thin, looking like crap, but his leg was mended. I don't know what happened. I think he went off to die and it didn't happen. Yellow umbrella. There you go. I've never heard of that one either, but I bet it's good. Don't stop the head scratches. My cats are all insatiable when it comes to this because I pay them a lot of attention. I talk to them like regular people. They have names like regular people. My cats are named Ed and Ted. I mean, I have some crazy names. And look at him. He just can't get enough of me. But now he's been around for 6 or 8 years now. 2 months ago, he had a stroke. He walks crooked now. He falls over. But he's living a good life. He's still doing all the things. He lays out there every day in that grass and plays with that little baby. And the mama kitty comes over and hangs out with him. They both sit together. And this is what he does. He does this with every little cat we've ever had. The neighbors will have kittens. And they'll say, your big orange cat's over here with my kittens. I'm like, yeah, he heard them. If he hears kittens, he goes and he daddies them. Yes, cats can heal at 3 or 4 times the rate we can, and they can survive things that we probably wouldn't. Yeah, I love a good burger. I like bacon on it. And I'll tell you something else. I don't like that milk cheese shit. I don't like that cheap ass McDonald's milk cheese, that Kraft shit that you pull out of the plastic. I can't stand that cheese. It's tasteless. It's colorless. It's odorless. It's just horrible. But if I can get a piece of real cheddar cheese, preferably sharp, or some Mott's, or maybe I love mozzarella on a hamburger. Oh my God. Or even Swiss if it's real cheese like Swiss on a hamburger is so good. I was in Gatlinburg, and we had just toured the battlefields for 4 or 5 hours, and we stopped in town, and we went to this restaurant, and all they had was hamburgers, and they had hamburgers named after all the famous generals, and I think I got the General Lee actually, and it was a hamburger with ham on it and cheeses, like 3 different cheeses. Man, that was one of the best hamburgers I ever ate. It was good. I said if I ever get back to I've been to Gatlinburg twice. I love Gatlinburg. The history there, the energy there, it's just amazing. There's so much of our nation's history there. I've walked those battlefields. I feel some weird connection there. But anyway, I love their restaurants downtown. They've got great restaurants, and that burger place is really good. Yep. Casey's Pizza, I've never heard of it. Let me tell you guys, Florida is always the last people to get things. We don't have Crystal down here yet. We're just getting our first chicken joint. What's that chicken joint called that we were just talking about yesterday? Cane's. Raising Cane's. We didn't even hear about those. I heard they got them in Tampa a couple years ago. Yeah. Oh, it's a convenience store. Well, there you go. I don't know that I've been to Vicksburg. I don't think I've been there. Is that the same as Longhorn Steakhouse? Because we have those down here. Obviously a pricey steakhouse, but well worth it. It's good food. Ma and Pops are the best. When I go up to the mountains, we've got 3 or 4 Ma and Pa ones we like to go to. That they got really good food. Marina Mar, welcome aboard. Thank you for coming in. Welcome aboard the Starship. We're on every night at 9 p.m. right here. We're having a slow, easy night tonight because for the first time in about a month, We've had last night and tonight, we've had really no protesting to speak of. The only protesting we got one camera up right now, right there above me. And you can see in that camera there's more. They're all photographers. I don't know if there's actually any real protesters. Some nights, a couple of nights, there was like 10 or 12 YouTubers down there, 3 or 4 onlookers, and some agitators. And come to find out, I don't think there was. Oh, and 4 or 5 people in stuffed animals. I don't think there was any actual protesters down there. Oh wow, there you go. That's the way to do beef. If you got a floor freezer, that's the way to do it. Um, Crystal, you're not missing anything but the heartburn. Well, there you go. I like Crystal hot sauce, but I've never actually had a Crystal burger. We see them like at BJ's in the frozen thing, and I'm like, they don't look good. Um, you got a blooming burger. Did you see that car? We're getting a Raising Cane's down here. I forget where, but yeah, they made a big deal about it on Wink. There, we're actually getting a Raising Cane's down here. Yep, I'll be seeing Car this weekend. We're going to the Hamcation, the nation's third largest ham radio festival. All right, let's see here. Yeah, I don't know how much longer the protesting is going to keep up because I want you guys, every night, I don't sit here and write down the numbers, but I'm telling you, when you look at it, and I know I've made a big deal about this every night, but I want you guys to really look and pay attention to the fine details. All right. You got the wedding singer that was there last night. I don't know if he's back tonight. There's a guy, he's literally a washed up wedding singer. And he goes down there and he sets up his big, colorful, rotating speakers. And he's I don't know if he actually sings or not. He just sets up his speakers and he stands there with his microphone looking like a wedding singer. Oh, there go the cops down through my neighborhood with the blue lights on. Jeez, here we go. Um, we have an issue in Florida. I was just mentioning this a minute ago and I got sidetracked by the chat. We have an issue in Florida, and chains run out before they get down here because we're so far away that, like, a lot of restaurants never make it down this far. Like Captain D's, it only comes down to I-4, and that's it. There's only one Captain D's in all of Florida south of I-4. They just didn't make it down here. And now our Long John Silvers they're all gone now. We've lost our last Long John Silvers. Was a Long John's Taco Bell, and they got rid of the Long John side. It's just a Taco Bell now. They're at Colonial, and it doesn't matter because with that new intersection, you can't get in and out of there anyway. So who cares? So there you go. Do I have any opinions on the Nancy Guthrie situation? Yes, I do. We were sitting here just going through the facts here about 20 minutes ago. I don't. Oh man, look, if this is what it looks like a traditional kidnapping. These people are trying some trick with Bitcoin and all this to try to get the money and get out of Dodge. I think they've somehow engineered the whole thing from outside the country. You have to remember this location where she is like 80 miles from the Mexican border. So that brings up a lot of really interesting things. I mean, she could be being held right on the other side of the border. It could be an international situation here. I don't know. I will tell you this. My gut feeling is she didn't walk away. I know a lot of people are starting to lean towards she's an old woman. She walked away. She walked off somewhere and got herself dead. I don't. I don't feel that. I don't think that. I think there was definitely a third party involved, and I think we're definitely looking at a crime here. Her blood on the outside of the house. I know she could have. It fell down, and that's what made her delirious, and that's what made her walk off. All this is possible. It absolutely is. I think the path of least resistance, though, when all other things are looked at and they seem to be difficult, and there's one thing that seems to be the path of least resistance, that's usually the answer. And on this one, the path of least resistance is exactly what it looks like it is. Some people kidnap this woman because she's high profile. She goes on the show. The mom goes on the show every now and then. People know her, they see her. And she uses her real name. She's in the phone book. There's been no efforts made to protect her. And I'm not saying they're bad for that. Who would have thunk, for Christ's sake, right? I mean, who would have thunk? So, like I said, I'm not blaming anybody. I don't think we all need to go out and buy a security guard to guard our mom at home. But, man, this makes you think, doesn't it? What about actors' moms and news people's moms? What about Tucker Carlson and his family, or your right wing people, Sean Hannity and his family? Where do we have to protect? Who do we have to protect? This brings up a lot of really messed up thoughts to me. What do we have to do to protect our opinions? Because I don't know if this is political. Guthrie is very far left wing, which in this case has no bearing as far as I'm concerned. I hope, but I'm wondering if it's political in nature. Are these some of those far left wingers that don't think the news goes far enough? Is it some crazy right winger? Is it not related to news at all? Is it random? Was it just some old lady's house and they just grabbed the first old lady? I don't think that's likely. I don't think you don't go pick a random old lady out of a normal house and hold her for ransom when you don't even know who you're sending a ransom note to. No, I think this was targeted. I think there's more than one person involved. I think it was well thought out. They have reason to believe that the people were on the roof. They removed the ring camera. They changed data or did something with the watch and the heart and the pacemaker and everything else. So yeah, I mean, when you start looking at it, yes, I know. I was just getting ready to tell him that. I don't think that, I don't think it's any of these other things. I think it's exactly what it seems that it is. And that's a traditional kidnapping, the likes of which you generally only see in the movies. Because I want you to think how hard this is to execute. How do you end this? How do they give her back and make sure they get their money? I mean, how do you do this? In the movies, they would meet on either side of a bridge at midnight during the rainstorm. I mean, think about it. This is not an easy thing. How does this happen? How do we do it? They may never find her. There may never be answers here. Yeah. Well, they think that there's a high level of off the keyboard. Thank you. They think that there's anonymity when it comes to Bitcoin, and there is, but not as much as you think. Nothing's foolproof. Look, when you piss off the federal government, they're going to find you. Don't worry about that. I'm a Mountain Dew guy. This could be an ad. I'm a Mountain Dew guy, but thanks to the Joe Biden economy, I now drink Mountain Lightning. By the way, I added all my music that I've made so far, right up to the 2 rap songs I made last night. It's all playing over on Starship After Dark. Um, yeah, I mean, I don't know. I don't know how. I don't know anything about Bitcoin. I know I wouldn't touch it. Um, I don't want nothing to do with it. I just, to me, it's one step towards globalism, and I am not a globalist. They have Walmart store sodas used to be bad, and I used to buy Winn Dixie, what they called the Czech soda. And a little bit of trivia for those in the South: the reason it's Czech soda, and some of their stuff is check this and check that, is because Winn Dixie, in the late 70s or early 80s, Winn Dixie bought out Quick Check. And Quick Check was the place with the ladies with the quickest checkout fingers. And they could check you out quicker than ever. They check you out quick. And that was called Quick Check. And when Winn Dixie bought out Quick Check, it was called Winn Dixie Quick Check for about 5 or 7 years. And then they dropped the branding. See, I'm a branding nerd, guys. They dropped the branding Quick Check and they added the check mark to their brand. And so it's a circle with a big yellow check mark and it says WD, Winn Dixie. Now they're all closing up now. We're losing Winn Dixie forever. But it's just a little bit of history there, that the reason they were called Czech soda was because that's a holdback from the Quick Check brand, which they bought out way back in the early 80s. Yes, different regions call it different things. Down here, we call it, we don't call it pop down here. Nobody calls it pop down here. We call it soda, or when I was growing up, we just had Coke, so we called it Coke. Um, can you hear this cat? Let's see if he starts doing it again. He's a snorer, and he goes, brrr, brrr. It's just the cutest thing. I wanted you to hear it. Yeah, I've had friends from Ohio that called it pop. I remember that. Yeah, I have friends from Ohio that call it pop. Um, yeah, it's like Carlotta tells me up in Baltimore they call a 2 liter a boss of soda, and I had never heard that. We always called it a 2 liter or a bottle of soda. Um, it is another one is shopping carts. That was another one we found that's very regional. Down here we call them buggies. They're literally called buggies. The sign in the store says "Return your buggies here." It's buggies. That's what we call it. And I hear that that's not what they call it everywhere else. That they call them carts. They call them trolleys. They call them shopping carts. I don't know. There's a bunch of different names for them. But down here we call them buggies. Um, It's a shopping cart in Minnesota. I know. I don't know why we call them buggies down here. It's a weird thing. There's a lot of these little regional quinky dinks. Shopping carts in Nebraska are called pop. That's funny. Oh boy. Okay, so we went through that. Let me take a look back and see what else we got going on here. Okay, apparently Bad Bunny has now deleted all of his Instagram posts following his controversial halftime performance. He wipes Instagram account after mixed Super Bowl performance reactions. The Latin singer received mixed reactions from conservative and Democrat commentators for his Super Bowl LX halftime show. Well, from what I hear, now I didn't listen to it because I was listening to the show with Turning Point USA as we were carrying it live here. By the way, I was demonetized last night, but that's okay. That was my choice. The show still is up. They're allowing me to show it in most countries, but I did get completely demonetized last night. Latin pop singer Bad Bunny surprised over his over 50. Just when he starts that snoring, I want to get the mic so you guys can hear it. The 31-year-old singer, whose real name is Benito Antonio Martinez Ocasio or something, deleted his Instagram profile picture and unfollowed everyone he had on there, leaving only his follower count intact, whatever that means. I guess he unfollowed everybody he followed, but people that followed him are still following him. This move followed the Latin trap artist Super Bowl LX halftime show, which received mixed reactions. Fox News Digital reached out to Bad Bunny, but Bad Bunny didn't respond. Bad Bunny's performance received widespread condemnation from prominent conservatives, including President Donald Trump. The Super Bowl halftime show is absolutely terrible, one of the worst ever. It makes no sense, is an affront to the greatness of America, and doesn't represent our standards of success, creativity, or excellence. Nobody understands a word this guy is saying, and the dance is disgusting, especially for young children that are watching from throughout the USA and all over the world, Trump wrote on social media. Yeah, I see that. He definitely had shit in his mouth. Nobody could, I understand a lot of what he was singing was in a different language. Trey Radel said today, and we had two people that called up that said the same thing. Trey said, I speak fluent Spanish. It's my second language. I speak it greatly. He goes, I can even speak in 5 different dialects of Spanish or whatever. And he says, I couldn't tell you anything, this guy said. It's just was gibberish. It was stupid. Yeah, that video is everywhere now, so good luck for him. Well, Victor, it's one of them things. I knew it was going to happen, and I said, you know what? I'm going to just let it go. I don't care. I don't just do this for the money. I'm doing this for the freedom of being able to do what I love to do. It's not a get rich quick scheme. I do it because of a passion, and I need to be able to travel, and the only way I can travel and do YouTube on the road is to make YouTube successful so that it can pay for itself. All right, that feed just went down. So that's it. That was the only protest feed I have. So let me go and let me hit it again and see if anything else comes up. Yep, and the only other guy that's on doesn't have any feeds either. Wow. Well, here's one, but he's got one shot from down there. But I'll go ahead and put it up. All right, so top Democrat leaders, by contrast, praised the performance, including California Governor Douche Newsom, who declared Sunday Bad Bunny Day. What an absolute pompous douchebag. Oh boy, that Douche Newsom he's just a slobbering piece of shit. Thank you, San Benito, for taking the California stage and using your voice at the Super Bowl. A beautiful moment. Together we're all America, Newsom wrote on X. What an idiot. This guy's anti-American. Doesn't Douche Newsom know anything? Doesn't he have staff there that says, sir, you don't know what you're talking about? I mean, what is he? This guy is anti-American. The reason he took down his whole Twitter page is because everybody's been tearing up all the stupid shit he's been saying about the United States. That's why they're taking his shit down. That's why he took it down. Some people think he's in the middle of some kind of rebranding right now, and this is all playing into it somehow. Anyway, yeah, I don't know. So there you go. What a douche. I just can't believe, with all the great singers that we have in this country, I why I don't understand why the NFL cannot take a poll. Why can they not take a poll? Why can't they say, hey, look, okay, we've got millions of fans. Let's send out a poll and ask them. If you ask them in the poll, what kind of music would you prefer in a halftime show, and you had a pull down menu that said hip hop or rap, rock and roll or classic rock, you know what I'm saying, country, patriotic country. If you had that and you sent it out to everybody that watches football, they would overwhelmingly want country music. And that's the reality that the NFL doesn't want to realize. I'm sorry. I'm a rock and roll guy, so I'm not fighting for my own team here. Okay? I do like country music, though. And it's some of the best music on earth is country music. Some of the worst music on earth is country music. But that being said, I think it's a great genre. I also think classic rock is a great genre. When we say classic rock, I'm talking 60s all the way up to 2000. Any of that would be good. But instead, it's always very hip hop. It's always some foreigner from some other country, whatever. I honestly think if you were sitting there and they had some of the greats come walking, I want you to think about this at a halftime show. You don't know who's coming out, all right? Now, I know some of you guys might hate country, whatever, but just stick with me for a minute here. What if they didn't tell you who was coming out, and you showed up and Garth Brooks comes out and sings a classic? You know what I'm saying? And then Reba McEntire comes out and sings a classic. I mean, you know what I'm saying? That would be more beloved by the people there in that Super Bowl than anything else they've done in the last 20 years. I think it would be amazing. Bring these people back that have sung all the music that we like. You know, I would love to see some rock and roll stuff too. You know, unfortunately we've lost a lot of them. But yeah, I'm glad the NFL did it. You know, Turning Point USA, they it really is a turning point. It really is right now at a turning point. And they are doing so well right now. And that was a great idea what they did, and what they did was worth it, because just in ad revenue alone, just off of YouTube, you're talking quite a bit of money. Um, yeah, they'll probably do this going forward. I would. I can't believe if there wouldn't be more of these popping up. Alternate halftime shows. But the thing is, if they have a traditional halftime show next year, see, that's how they would combat this. If you're the NFL and you're like, how are we going to combat Turning Point and all these other places taking our viewers away during halftime? Do a traditional show. Do a traditional freaking show. That's how you do it. Yeah, yeah, you're right. They'll have a whole year to plan on it. Yes, they did. I agree. They made it a competition. Led Zeppelin. Oh, I'd love to see Led Zeppelin back, but I think we've lost way too many of them. Um, I would love to see rock and roll crossover to country stuff. Like, I'd love to see a Southern rock. Like next time the Super Bowl's down in the South somewhere, I would love to see, you know, like Leonard Skinner come and play Freebird at halftime. I mean, that would just be the best ever. And you notice all the big elaborate plastic sets and all the big moving roving things and all the stupid shit. You know what? Whatever happened to just a good marching band? I mean, we used to take the field. We were good, man. You know, I'm talking a high school band. And this is what we get now. These big huge things that all get moved around out there, and people dancing all over the top of everything. Yeah, that volcano is going freaking nuts. Don't be mad, Mama. She's a little upset that the daddy's in here. She's like, I really don't like him in here like this. She's like, I'm kind of tolerating it. Watch, every now and then she'll just slap the shit out. That's why she just hissed at him. She just said, F you. And he's like, oh, don't be that way. I'm just going to be here for a little while. Because he knows he's going to bed with me in there, because he'll be going in there. He's been sleeping with me every night because it's been cold. He normally sleeps outside, but he... Yes, I agree with you. I think all of sports, in one way or the other, has abandoned normal Americans. Oh, yeah, geez, you know, when you think about it, it's like nothing's normal anymore. All we want is normal. Everybody's like, everybody doesn't get to do it exactly the way they want to do it. Everybody has to compromise a little bit. That's called normal. Mama bleep. Yeah, I know that one of the lists, sales or something, I think it was record sales or something, that Kid Rock actually was number one, and Dumb Bunny came in number three. Yeah, we get fleas here. I have to treat the yard. I treat the cats. I get collars. I do all kinds of stuff. No, I don't like much change either. And boy, I've got some change coming this week. I can't stay on here really late like I do sometimes because I have to get up early tomorrow. I've got several things to do, and then I got to go to my work and my new work. But I'm going to take this hard drive that was delivered in 4 hours and 35 minutes. I'm going to take that hard drive and I'm going to take it to my work so I can get this file transfer started, my old work. Then I'm going to drive to my new work and spend 2 or 3 hours getting all of my programs working on that computer over there. Neighbor, we don't have we have really bad bug problems here, but it's not all the time. We've had such a cold winter. There hasn't been mosquitoes here in months. Um, yeah, we will get bad mosquitoes. They can be really, really, really bad. However, like I said, we really haven't had any in the last few months. And this whole last year, because we've been dry, we aren't really having a lot of mosquitoes. There's been years past where they are really bad the whole year. So it all just depends on the weather and the year and a lot of other things. We also have a special taxing district here in Lee and Collier County, two different special taxing districts. They actually tax us. I think I pay $1.50 a year for mosquito services. And we actually have a mosquito control here. And they own DC-3 planes and Huey helicopters. And they go out and spray the estuaries and spray all the waterways. And they go out and spray over our houses. They got trucks that drive up and down the roads with fog coming out of the back with a blinking light on top. And yeah, they spray. And I'll tell you what, if you ever think our mosquito, people are always like, mosquito control don't do nothing. They say they keep the mosquitoes down, but they don't. Yeah, they do. If you go to a county that doesn't have mosquito control and you drive way deep inland, we have multiple counties that don't have any kind of mosquito control. And when you go out there, it is crazy. We went out one night to watch the stars. We were going to watch a meteor shower. I pulled up out there and I backed in. We were just sitting there. We hadn't got out of the car yet. I had my window cracked about like that. Carlotta was smoking a cigarette. We were just hanging out in the car. We had just got together and headed out there because we wanted to see the meteor shower. And we're just sitting there, and I kept noticing something here. And I kept looking up, and I got my flashlight, and I shined my flashlight. And where the window was cracked about that far, they were rolling, trying to get in the window. And I told her, I said, there's thousands of mosquitoes trying to get in this window. She goes, you're kidding me. And we looked. I couldn't believe it. There was a swarm of mosquitoes because we had been sitting in the car for 20 minutes and our smell had been going out this window because of the air being brought in through the air conditioning system. And so all this cold air was flying out the window and they could not come in, and they were rolling. There was literally, it was visible. It was incredible. And so we moved down the road a little ways, and then we got out of the car real quick. And even with off sprayed all over our body, with jackets on and stuff wrapped around our head and everything, we watched for about 5 minutes and got back in the car. And then we spent 30 minutes killing mosquitoes inside the car before we could head back. I've never seen anything like it. It was near Palmdale, which is like a defunct town there at Fish Eating Creek on 29, and where 27 comes in at 29. That is so bad out there. The mosquitoes are so incredibly bad out there. I can't even tell you. Now you come in towards the coast, where the mosquitoes years ago used to be the worst near the coast. Saltwater mosquitoes and things. Not so bad because the coastal counties have enough money and have enough revenue that they've got mosquito control agencies that are out there spraying and doing all the different things that they do. They even have a truck that drives around, and he does every night. They do a different part of town, and he's got a big thing on top. Remember the Blues Brothers with the big speaker on top of the car? Well, it kind of looks like that, but it's a big square one, and it looks like a big speaker on top of a truck. And they drive around. They put a sock on the back, like they call it a sock. They stick it on the back. This thing drives, and all the mosquitoes that it picks up get stuck in the sock. And then when they get done, they take the sock off. They put the lid on it, and it goes into the thing. And then when they go back, the mosquitoes will be dead in the sock, and then they'll dump them out, and they'll go through them, and they'll separate them out so they can do a count. Okay, on this route, there was this kind of each kind of mosquito. I had this all explained to me one night by a guy that works there. He showed me the process. It was they came by the station one night. We hung out, and they showed me this, and they're like, we actually go through, and we'll actually, all these big long ones here, that's one kind of mosquito, and then all these little teeny ones, that's another kind of mosquito. And they'll do it, and then they'll do a report every night. And by that report, they do a mosquitoes per million square feet or whatever. They've got a formula that they can figure out, and they can see if the mosquito population, and not only that it is going up and down, but which parts of the mosquito population are going up and down. And then from that information, they pull the permits or do whatever they have to do so that they can do truck spraying, spraying with the helicopters in the estuaries, and spraying with the DC-3s. And they also do all kinds of different stuff. They'll also, you'll see them during rainy season, they drive right down the road, and the guy actually has this big spoon it's on like a big thing, and he actually goes out and he leans out the door and he scoops the ditch water up with this thing, and he pulls it up like this, and then he pours it into a thing, and he's got it down to a little thing where you don't even have to get out of the truck, and he can scoop it up. And what they're doing is they put it in a little bottle, they cap it, and when they go back, they can count the number of mosquito larvae per 1 cup of water. And that's how you can tell if you've got a big problem. If they get a lot of larvae on my street, they will come down and treat the ditches too. That's another thing they do. So there is literally 4 or 5 different actions that they take to try to keep the mosquito population. Some of the things they do affect the eggs that they lay. Some of the things they do kill the eggs before they hatch. Some of the things that they do kill the living mosquitoes. They're even working on stuff now where they're putting mosquitoes out that that basically they have a lot of sex and they do a lot of stuff, but they can't make any babies. So I don't know how that works, but they oversaturate an area with like these mosquitoes that are shooting blanks basically, and that supposedly upsets the population as well. Yeah, they spay. Have your mosquitoes spayed or neutered. Yeah. Yeah, they're bad down here. But I will tell you, we've had several years in a row now where the mosquitoes have not been that bad down here at all. Um, yeah, Florida was not even that popular until they invented the air conditioning. That's an absolute fact. Um, you can actually go look at the curve, and right about the time they invented the air conditioner, Florida takes a spike like you would not believe. And yeah, it's absolutely amazing down here. Um, and it's because of the air conditioner. You can't live down here in the summer without air conditioning. We have nights down here where it never gets below 80 degrees all night long, and the humidity is 100%, and your house is sweating like a glass of cool iced tea. Um, yes, um, believe it or not, hurricanes can greatly affect the mosquito population. A lot of times during storms, you'll have a boom, a population boom in mosquitoes a month or so after the storm, and that's because of all the standing water from the storm. It's kind of crazy how it works. Yep, you can do that. Um, yeah, could be. All right. So anyway, there you go. We have one protester out, I think. Oh no, wait. There's three or four, maybe five, maybe five. I don't see the washed up wedding singer tonight. I don't see any of the bands. I don't see any of the stuffed animals. I don't see any of the MAGA agitators. I mean, this is literally like nothing. Yeah, I like bug zappers. They work. They're a bit inefficient as they take up space and power, and they do kill bugs, but not on any kind of massive scale. Um, yeah, you can do it. You can wake up in the morning here anemic. There's been people hospitalized from sleeping outside overnight and being drunk, and they get bit up so much that their skin's all swollen. It's terrible. Um, all right, so let's see if there's any more news we want to talk about. Oh boy. All right, I don't see anything new. Ronald Reagan. I miss that man. When I was a kid, I mean, when I was in high school, he was the president. You know what I mean? I graduated his last year in office. George H.W. Bush was the first person I voted for. And yes, it does. You're correct about that, Drake. Um, yeah. All right. So, but yeah, man, I miss Reagan. I really do. The Big Gipper. He was the best. Um, he got a lot done. He did a really good job. Um, he still is not did not get it done near like Trump's getting it done right now. Uh, but of all the presidents we've had in my lifetime, Ronald Reagan is definitely one of the top two. All right, I don't see anything else there. There's not a whole lot going on tonight, guys. It's a quiet night. It is a quiet night. All right. Well, there you go. Yeah, hit that like button. I appreciate that. I'm coming up on 2 hours, guys. It's 11 o'clock. 11 o'clock on the East Coast. 10 o'clock in Tampon Timland, and 7 o'clock on the left coast out there, where we've got 7 protesters. Let me know if I'm wrong on the number. I think it's 7. That ought to get something done, don't you think? It's like, oh, there's 7 protesters out there. We better change some policy here. uh, oh, Gator. I would have to say Donald Trump, followed closely by Ronald Reagan. Absolutely. I think the Bushes did a lot of good. I also think there was a lot of issues. I also think Bill Clinton, for a Democrat, ran a great budget. Um, he had some other issues, but he ran a great budget. Also, Bill Clinton deported more illegals than any other president in 50 years. So you got to respect Bill for that. So there you go. But my favorite president of all time is Donald Trump, followed closely by Ronald Reagan. And then I hate to say it, but between Reagan and Trump, the only one that ran a decent budget was Bill Clinton. Neither of the Bushes ran a good budget. And Barack Obama, of course, ran our debt up by trillions, under like $10 trillion or something. And of course, Biden was terrible with it. Yeah, at least Clinton held a decent budget. Yeah, I mean, that's true, neighbor. You're right. You know, I get criticism for talking good about Clinton. And there's a lot of bad things about Clinton. I mean, come on. But when it comes down to it, he's the best Democrat president we've had in 100 years. Yeah, he's pretty good. Because he ran a good budget. He was worried about illegals. He deported, I don't know, 10 or 12, 13 million illegals. Twice as many as Barack Obama, who deported quite a lot of illegals. So yeah, I mean, that was their thing. And Barack did not do well with the economy, and neither did either Bush. But Clinton did. So I'll put that out there. He also did a lot of weird, distasteful shit, too, and apparently even more than we know about. So there you go on that. But anyway, so yeah, I think Trump, because of what Trump's doing right now, he's the first one. Even Reagan didn't go in there and break shit. And Trump went up there and he broke shit, and that's what needs to happen. The left always does this. The left forgets about history. They start talking about how Republicans have always been racist. And I'm like, the Republicans freed the slaves. It's like they forget about history. And they're like, Republican, they're all a bunch of Klansmen. The KKK was the Democrats. They were Democrats. These are inconvenient truths that they literally forget about, or that they convince each other it's not true or whatever. But that's the bottom line. The bottom line is the left has always been the party of discrimination. They've always been the party of not giving a shit about the minorities. And you want to know the truth is, with all their social programs, they're not doing them any favors right now. A Democrat wants to give you a handout. A Republican wants to give you a hand up. A Republican would rather teach you how to fish, to use a biblical analogy. A Democrat would rather give you a fish, one fish a day. You get one fish a day, and I give you one fish a day. You know why? Because I control you. I control you as long as you have to come to me every day and get this fish. That's exactly what's going on with the government, with the left. That's how they look at it. Everybody gets one fish. The Republicans are like, no. Everybody gets a fishing pole. And I'll teach you how to fish. Don't ever count on someone else to bring you a fish again. Ever. And I don't know how people can't see that, but that's the way it is. One party wants the fish given to them, and the other party wants to go catch it themselves. Bottom line. Yes, 90% of the Ku Klux Klan members were, in fact, on the left. They were Democrats. Racism has been a Democrat thing for a long time. Yeah, Clinton messed up on a lot of shit. But he ran a good budget. And for president, that's kind of job one, past the military. That's it. You vote for us, you get your fish. If you don't support us, if you badmouth us, if you don't vote for us, you don't get your fish. That's Democrat control. Republicans don't want to control you. They want you to go make your own fish, go catch your own fish, cook your own fish in your own house. That's the way it's done. And the left wants you to cook the fish on their stove in their house that they're going to let you live in, and they'll bring you that fish every day as long as you do all the right things. That's literally what social programs are. They're getting people under government control. That's why I'm completely against social programs. Do you know what the number one motivator in the world is? Hunger. The reason these people sit on their fat ass and don't work is because they're not hungry. You got to be hungry. These people got to get hungry. And as long as they get unlimited handouts for the rest of their life with no sunset, very little requirements, nothing will ever disqualify them, why would they ever work? They're lazy assholes. Why would they work? Why? That's why I say don't cut any social program. Keep them all. Just put a sunset on them. 1 year, 18 months. Everybody that has food stamps, keep them. Keep them. But in 2 years, you will run out and you'll never get another one. So get off your ass and go learn a trade. That's what I'm saying. I'm not saying take away people's benefits right now. What I am saying is we've got to wean them off the tit. You get a little baby kitten, goes back 3, 4, 5 months after they're born, they want to suck on that mama's titty. No, them days are over. And you have to do that with Democrats too, because they'll just keep nuzzling back up to that titty every day, waiting for that fish to come to the door. Living at that home that the government provides for them. That's what they'll do. They're like a goldfish. They'll grow to the size of their bowl. That's right. Yeah, that volcano is going crazy. Isn't that amazing, guys? That's fuego in Guatemala. That's live shots. Yeah, if a man doesn't work, a man doesn't eat. That's the way it has to be. We've created this problem. We created this problem when we incentivized people not working. We created this problem when we allow people to eat for years after year after year after year. They don't have to work. They don't have to get a job. They don't have to do nothing. The government provides everything they need. Section 8 housing, food stamps, WIC, and about 50. Let me tell you something. I ran a paranormal research group called Florida Paranormal Research. I ran it for about 6 years. We did, believe it or not, multiscreen broadcasting before multiscreen broadcasting was even a thing. I'll have to tell you guys about that one night. We were way ahead of our time. But anyway, I did all this broadcasting, and I had a girl in my group. I'm not going to call her name out or anything, but I had a girl in my group, nice girl. And she had a child that was 2 years old that was autistic. The child was perfectly normal until it took all the vaccines, and then it woke up the next morning and couldn't speak anymore, and is now autistic for the rest of the life because of those damn vaccines. But that's another show for another day. Anyway, I was talking to her one day, and she needed me to write her a letter explaining what equipment would be helpful for her on my team. I said, why am I doing that? She goes, because I'm in a program with the government where they help me with my interests, with my hobbies and stuff. I'm like, well, that's interesting. So I wrote her a letter, she could use this or that, it'd be great if she had a desktop computer, and I had no idea. She came to me about 2 or 3 months later. She goes, hey, I just want you to know they approved everything you put in that letter. I'm like, so you're getting all that for free? She says, yeah. She says, I have to prove that I bought it, though, but they give me the money, and then I have to send them a copy of the receipt. I said, oh, okay. Well, that's interesting. They bought her like $700 worth of shit to be a paranormal ghost hunter. The government bought her this under this program of creativity and stuff for mothers who were homebound with children with special needs, da 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 da. And this girl, come to find out, was living in a Section 8 house. She had her and her son's health care taken care of. And everything they had there was paid for. Their electricity was paid for by the government. Their water was pumped by the electricity, so that's covered. And she even got her stuff to her ghost detection equipment was even paid for by the government so that she could go and be a ghost hunter on her spare time. And she literally, between her WIC and her food stamps and all the other benefits that she got, plus going to the food pantry and all the different things that she did, her home was better stocked than mine. And I was kind of beside myself. This is a beautiful house you live in. It's almost brand new. Yeah, well, Section 8 covers 80% of the rent, and then I use my cash money that I get from the federal government to pay the rest of the rent. So she pays nothing for rent. She pays nothing for electric or water. And she has cable. How do you pay for cable? Oh, I'm on this program where families like ours can get cable for nothing. Oh, okay. What about your cell phone? Oh, yeah, I'm on the Obama cell phone plan. My cell phone is free. Okay, so what do you pay for? Well, the few things I pay for, like my cigarettes, I pay for out of the cash money they give me. They give me about $80 cash a month that I can use for extra expenditures, and I use that to buy my cigarettes. I said, so the government pays for everything, including your cigarettes. They pay for your ghost hunting equipment. They pay for your house, your food, your electric, your utilities, your water. They pay for everything that you need. They pay for your health care. They pay for your any daycare needs that you need. They pay for her transportation. They pay for her car. They give her a gas stipend. She gets special insurance. She pays for none of it. And I'm like, oh my God, this is the problem. Now, I don't have a problem helping a single mother that has an autistic child. But where do you draw the line? Where do you draw the line? You know, I mean, I don't know. I have a real hard time with all this. And I have a real hard time with every Somali child in this country gets free daycare. Why is that? They all get free home health care. Why is that? Why is that? I really want to know why it is. You know, I'm upset about all that fraud in Minnesota, but I'm even more upset about the fact that all these people were getting now free health care. Now, it doesn't, I understand that they weren't even using it. It was fraud. But I want to know how all these Somalis qualified for free autistic care, free health care, free daycare. How did they qualify for all of this stuff to begin with? Now, I understand it's all fraudulent. That's part 2. Part 1 is they were all getting it for free. Then we find out they were just taking the money and not actually providing the services. It was all a bullshit. But the point I'm trying to make is somewhere along the line, the government was thinking that they were paying for the daycare for 200,000 Somali kids. If I put my kid in daycare, I pay full price. I'm a citizen here. I live here. I've worked here my whole life. I'm retired from the fire service here. I've given my bit for God and country, and my back's ruined forever. And if I needed daycare or I needed a home care today, right now, I'm paying for it, baby, or I ain't getting it. Why? Because I'm not Somali, I guess. Because Somalis get free daycare. Somalis get free home care. They get free nursing care. They get all this. They get leering centers. We got a store right here in my neighborhood. You can bring your EBT card in and they'll sell you cigarettes on it. What they do is they ring up stuff. They'll ring up stuff that you're allowed to have and then run it on the card, and then they'll give you packs of cigarettes instead. I try not to be angry, Gator, but I've paid a lot of taxes in my life. Being single white male that has worked his whole life, has always had a full-time and a part-time job, I have paid hundreds of thousands of dollars in taxes. And I have very little to show for what I pay for. I call the cops, it takes them an hour to show up at my house. What do I have to pay for all this hundreds of thousands of taxes over the years? All this property tax, all this sales tax, gas tax, insurance tax, sales tax. I mean, every kind of tax you can imagine. And I've paid all these taxes over the year, hundreds of thousands of dollars in taxes. And yet, if I need daycare service for a child today, I'm paying full price. I won't qualify for anything. Yet every one of these Somalis had free daycare. I'm sorry, but that aggravates the crap out of me. You have no idea. Yes, I was. I was a full-time firefighter. I did nearly 20 years. Not quite. My back was just really bad. Yeah, I did it. I started as a volunteer. A year later, I went paid. A couple years after that, I became an engineer. And then I immediately went to college and got everything I needed to become a fire officer one, a fire instructor, an advanced fire instructor, and a fire officer. I got all the certifications, came back, they promoted me to lieutenant. I was a lieutenant for many years. And while I was a lieutenant, I was a deputy sheriff for 8 years as well. And I did that for a while. All my friends were cops, but I became a fireman. So it was a way for me to still go out and work with all my friends at night as a cop. And since I didn't have kids or a family or a wife, it gave me something to do on my days off. I also was a 911 dispatcher part-time on my days off. I also was a comms specialist with emergency management and was first line on the disaster response team, responding to Hurricane Andrew and Opal and a bunch of other big disasters over the years, including the Value Jet plane crash, which we were canceled en route on. But I did a lot of different things when I was in public safety, and so I do have some unique points of view on things. Let me just put it that way. Yeah, I being a cop really wasn't for me. I didn't like jamming people up. I didn't make a lot of arrests. I didn't write any tickets. I was really a pretty mellow cop. I'm a constitutionalist. So I was always like telling my partner, hey, he don't have to give ID if he doesn't want to. So it was one of those things. Now, if it was a felon, I caught a guy backing out of a church one night, and I chased his ass down and got him. I've been in a lot of pursuits. I mean, there's a lot of different nights that I chase people, and I was pretty successful at it, considering I was a butterball. But I preferred being a firefighter much more to being a cop. Yes, it is. The 70s porno stash is coming back. I gotta trim this thing. It's out of control. I'm gonna trim it before the weekend because I don't want it to look like this over at Hamfest. People are gonna think I'm some kind of hippie, or that I was in some kind of I was in Debbie Does Dallas in 1978, one of the longest standing best porno films ever. Yes, that was a thing down here. Yeah, the night I almost shot Jesus, that happened. Yes. I'll tell you the quick story if you want to hear it. You know, I have people that bitch because I tell too many stories, but most people enjoy them. So here we go. I pull up at a church one night with another deputy, Jim, and we see a broken window. So we call it out, give us emergency traffic. We got a 21 in progress. I got a broken window, we're going in. Other units were 20 minutes away. So we said, well, let's just go get this guy. So we crawled through the broken window quietly, and he sent me to the right and he went to the left. Now, whether you're a fireman or a cop, you generally go right in, right out, left in, left out. You stay along the outside wall. It's kind of a way when you clear buildings. It also works when you're crawling through a burning house. You always stay on the outside wall. You go right in, you stay right in, you stay right out. It works. Anyway, I go right, he goes left. Okay? I'm working my way around behind this church, behind the stage, and I cleared across the stage. I go around. There's like a big auditorium and a stage, and it's very quiet, very dark. I got my flashlight and my gun. I got my like this, holding both the flashlight and the gun, and I'm going room to room to room. And I can just remember that the adrenaline was pumping. And I come around this corner, and right as my flashlight comes up, there's somebody standing there like this. And I start screaming, "Get on the effing ground! Get on the effing ground, or I'll shoot you!" And about the second time I said it, I realized it was a statue of the Lord Jesus Christ hanging on a cross up against the wall. And he was like almost right over the top of me when I turned and ran almost right into him. And Jim came running back, and he comes running in. "What? Where's he at? Where's he at?" I said, "I almost shot Jesus," and we both started laughing. And then we went and we cleared the rest of the building. I didn't live that one down. I'm telling you, for 3 or 4 months, that was, no matter what would happen. If they would get an alarm at a church, they'd say, "You better send Ian." I mean, they would do stuff like that just to piss me off. Because I almost shot a statue of Jesus Christ because I was clearing the church, and we thought the guy was in there. We really did. Come to find out, he had already left, and they caught him later. They figured out who it was. They knew who it probably was. They went in there to steal the money. Yeah, I almost arrested Jesus. I'm glad I didn't like shoot a round off at him or something. I would have never lived that down, dude. You have no idea. It was bad enough as it was. Oh, man, that was funny though. That was great. And the very next night in roll call, my sergeant looks up over his glasses and he goes, "I want to commend Ian for that arrest last night." He says, "No one ever thought you'd be the first one to arrest our Lord and Savior," or something like that. He made some smart ass remark. I was like, "Oh, give me a break, dude. Seriously, give me a break." Anyway, yeah. No, Jesus from Nazarene or whatever. Yeah, it's a great story, and no animals were hurt in the making of the film, so that's what was great about it. Anyway, yeah, but there was another time we pulled up at a church, and the guy was crawling out the window, and we chased him and caught him. I ran a bunch of crazy calls when I was a cop. I did. We had a lot of pursuits. I worked the bad part of town on purpose a lot of times. I had one of my buddies was pretty aggressive, and he was assigned to a really bad part of town, and he would always encourage me to come ride with him, so we'd be a 2-man unit because I was auxiliary. I could check out my own car and do some things myself, or I could go in and ride with any other deputy I want. And I mean, I was certified, so I'm carrying a gun. I'm just like having 2 cops in the car, right? And so there you go. People break into churches to steal the money. There's a lot of money in churches. And a lot of churches don't put their money in the bank, and I don't blame them. Churches, just like anybody else, curb taxes, They're not going to claim everything they make in the till. There's always hidden money. And most of the time when people break in, this is a crazy fact, most of the time when people break into the church, they knew where the money was. They used to work there. Their family member used to work there. Somebody knew or saw where they were hiding the money. And a lot of churches, even though they're tax exempt, a lot of churches will just keep the money in cash and keep it local. And when they do that, sometimes they will have a lot of cash on hand. So, yeah. I have no idea. Canna Club, I have no idea where they keep the money. I just know we had a rash of those burglaries, and they were always looking for the till. They were looking for where they store the money, either where they store the money or where they store the money before it goes to a bank. All right, see here. Yeah, that's true too. Luckily, the pizza driver robbery stuff has, as the number of delivery drivers has grown exponentially 3 or 4 times over the last decade, the number of robberies has actually fallen. And a lot of that's because of cameras, dash cameras, car cameras, cell phone cameras, cameras on businesses, cameras on traffic lights, flare cameras, and these flock cameras and tag cameras. And when you start really thinking about it, um, they're just not doing it anymore. There's just not near as many. There was a time in the '90s where pizza guys would get rolled 2 or 3 times a year, and we're not in a bad town here. I'm sure it's a lot worse other places. Um, Priest drinks. I don't know about that. Let's see here. Yes, I mean, there's a lot of stuff to steal in a church. Most churches have audio and video equipment, they have production equipment. Most churches have things of value there that you could steal. But again, another crime that goes down. We see the way crime works is always changing. Car theft has actually dropped over the years because it's harder to steal a car. And when you steal it, it can be tracked. And so car thefts have just dropped over the years. It's not as much fun anymore. You get caught now. And there's a lot of crimes that are going down. Burglaries have even somewhat dropped in the percentages over the years. Why? Because cameras, because of lights, and because of security systems, and because of all this everything else. People are just, and because of homeowners with guns. We don't have that many home burglaries down here at all. And the reason is because when we do, the story reads like this: homeowner, da 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 da, and whacks the guy when he comes in his house. We don't have that problem here because most of our homeowners, including me, are armed and dangerous all the time. Um, yeah, that's true. Some of the older churches probably have stuff that is worth quite a bit. It would be hard to move and hard to store and hard to move, but it could be done. Don't let them steal the organs. Yeah, there you go. Do you guys see this cat? He is just done. Completely done. Yeah, I'm sure there's a special place in hell for people that steal from churches. That's all I can figure. I don't know. Holy crap. Think about that for a minute. That's just nuts. All right. I don't see a whole lot else going on. Guys, anything else real quick you want me to talk about? I'm getting ready to sign off. Yeah, not around here. I know that there is in big cities, there's churches where they'll have someone there overnight and the church will be open. We don't. There, every church here locks down at dark. Not because it's a bad neighborhood or anything. It's just not. It's just not the way it is around here. I hear it's like that in big cities. Well, the night vision's coming down. It's still fairly expensive. The cheaper night vision's obviously getting cheaper, but you can even get some really good night vision now for like $1,000 or something. It's really, it's coming down, and you can get the stuff now that's starlight, meaning that it just enhances available light. It doesn't actually send out infrared, which people can use to spot you. That these new ones are actually starlight scopes, and they'll actually see in literal starlight and twilight, and that's great because It just amplifies the available light so many times that you could see. Now, does it work in a completely dark room? No, but it works with any light. As long as there's just a little bit of light, it will work. Um, yeah, all my security cameras here are they're all low light, low lux, what they call low lux. But they also have infrared mode. I have white lights and infrared lights. And I can choose what mode I want manually or let the camera choose automatically. Um, yeah, it's really neat when animals, you can really see the eyes on the animals. If you have night vision, and it's the kind of night vision that sends out the infrared light, if you scan like across the bayou, you will see all the alligators' eyes sitting right above the water line. It's pretty spooky, and their eyes are red usually. Um, yeah, yeah, you can get it down pretty cheap, but you get what you pay for. If you really want something nice, you do still have to pay a little bit of money for it. Um, yeah, some bugs can see infrared light and some can't. Well, you're fortunate because most of the blue towns are having real crime problems right now. Yeah, frogs are yellowish, cats are white. I'll tell you something neat about cats. Their eyes will glow different colors. Like if your cat's green eyes and you have another cat with blue eyes and another cat with brown eyes, when they're all looking at the camera, their eyes will all be a different color in the camera too, but not necessarily the right colors. But they will look like slightly different colors in the camera. It's pretty cool. It's neat that um, night any eye that is equipped with night vision will reflect back the camera light. Any eye that is not set for night vision, like our eyes are not, you can shine that light right in our eyes, and unless you hit it just right, you're not really going to get a reflection from our eyes. You will get red eye if you hit it just right. You might get a little red eye, but for the most part, no. And the reason is because our eyes are daytime eyes. We don't have the night vision. But all these animals out there that do, all their eyes will reflect back so much of the light. It's a bar in Fort Lauderdale, I'm pretty sure, called the Elbow Room. If you guys type in the Elbow Room in YouTube, you'll see they've got 3 or 4 cameras. I think 4 cams there. And I've drank at that bar. It's pretty cool. It's a neat place. And this place pumps and rocks during the weekends, man. They get like a rave going in there, and everybody's going up and down. It's pretty cool. Yes, it's as cramped as it looks. However, you're only seeing parts of the bar. There's actually a whole back part you don't see, another back part over here that you don't see. And so it's bigger than it looks. And there's an entire second floor that does not have cameras. The second floor does like themed events, like they'll have swingers night, or they'll have LGBTQ night or whatever. I think it's kind of cool. They put a big sign up, this is what's going on upstairs, and you can participate or not. It's up to you. Downstairs is always a regular bar. I like the place. I think it's really cool. Um, yeah, the one dancing is usually the one that got drunk first. And there he is in the white shirt. What is that? Is that Elaine out there? It looks like Elaine from Seinfeld dancing. It is. I think that's Elaine. That other guy's like, leave me alone, dude. I don't know you. I don't want to know you. Your hands are doing the grabbing thing. Oh, you just grabbed that guy's ass. Yeah, you can sit here and watch this shit all night. It's hilarious. Yeah, he's got the moves like Drunk Jagger. I'll be honest, the cameras in New Orleans suck. First of all, they're Earth cam. If I put them on too much or too big, they hit me. Uh, One of our other channels actually got a copyright strike from them, and we had to deal with that. We won it, but still, it was a pain in the ass. But New Orleans, believe it or not, like for Mardi Gras, we've covered Mardi Gras live. It's not that entertaining. It's not as fun as you would think. You don't see near as many boobies as you think you would. It's just not good. Now, Fantasy Fest in the Keys, that's fun. That's fun to cover. You see lots of stuff, lots of craziness, and some skin too. That's a lot of fun. I can't wait. I would love to make it to Fantasy Fest one year and shoot it live down there. I think that would be amazing. He's trying to take that dude's girl. Yeah, he probably is. He'll eventually take a fat lip and walk home. He'll get a nice ass whooping to wear, and then he'll get sent home. Birthplace of Zaxby's. There you go. I'm not a big fan of Zaxby's. I'm like a chicken strip connoisseur, and I've ate at Zaxby's twice, and I didn't really like the chicken or the sauces as that much. I'm kind of picky though. But it was good. It was all right. It just, I wouldn't like stop there if there was like a Popeyes or a Bojangles or even maybe a KFC. I would put it on the level with KFC. Yeah, I don't want to go to Mardi Gras, but I want to go to Fantasy Fest. Fantasy Fest is not quite as crowded. It's not quite as intense, but yet it's a lot more crazy and fun. And there's a lot of parties going on. There's a lot of themed events going on down there, and I think it's cool. Everything from nudist stuff to drag queens to different. I mean, different, all kinds of different events. There's swinger events down there. There's God, I'm trying to think. There's all kinds of get-togethers and parties. There's nude pool parties. There's, I mean, just absolutely everything you can think of. It's kind of like 10 days of heathenism. But I would love to go down there. And when I get my van and things are going, that is one of the places I plan to visit. But New Orleans during Mardi Gras, I probably won't. I just don't think it's worth it. I don't know. It's just not my thing. I don't. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, it's a, yeah. I've never actually went to Miami and gone to bars other than when I bring. I used to designate drive for groups of cops and firemen that were going over to the strip clubs after weddings and stuff. So I've been to the strip clubs like Treasure Island and stuff over there. One of the strangest things about Miami and the strip clubs in Miami is the lady came over at some point and she hands me a menu and she says, "Would you like breakfast?" And I looked at the menu and there's sausage and eggs and a biscuit and they got ham and they got bacon. And I said, "You guys serve biscuits in the middle of the night?" And she said, "Honey, it's 7 a.m. And I'm like, oh my God. And so I'm telling these guys, hey guys, we probably should leave now. It's 7. These are a bunch of state troopers. I said, we probably should leave now. It's like 7 a.m. No, it's not 7 a.m. This was in the days when they all left their watches. Nobody brought watches. And there's no clocks in the place and there's no cell phones. It's too early for that. So nobody even knew what time it was. The lady came and offered us breakfast. A couple of the guys got biscuits. And then biscuits and gravy, I can remember. And then a little while later, we get up and we're like, all right, let's go. And some of them were really drunk. One of them was like, we were dragging him. And we open the front door and the sun comes shining into like the mud, not a mud room, but like the pre-room when you walk into the room and then you walk into the next room. The sunlight shone into the room. And I heard that noise. Ah, it was kind of weird. And we walked out into the sunlight from the stripper place. And there was still strippers dancing. They dance 24 hours a day in Miami. You can drink 24 hours a day in Miami. Craziness. So you haven't lived until you've been asked in a strip club if you want breakfast. Um, there you go. No, I know. I was never a big drinker, but I know that for my drinker buddies, their favorite thing was the 2 hours they'd spend in Denny's at 2 o'clock in the morning when the bar was closed. Um, there's they said that nothing tastes better than that Denny's breakfast after you've been drinking for 5 hours. Well, there you go. First Zaxby's was on Georgia Southern campus. There you go. And they're big now. Zaxby's is big. They're down here now. They've got one in Blairsville, Georgia, where my cabin is. They've got them all up and down the interstate. I see them all the time. So, yeah, they're doing good. Yeah, Victor, when you go to the strip clubs, we've only got 4 strip clubs here. They're only ones that were grandfathered. We got 4 strip clubs here, one down at the beach and 3 up in Fort Myers. And they'll give you $2 bills. If you don't ask for ones or fives, they just give you twos. Um, I know because I worked a cab for a short time. I drove a cab for 6 months. Worst job I ever had. That didn't make any money. It was terrible. And the strippers would call me, called my work and dispatched me out to take them home. And I would show up there in the back, and the stripper would get in the back. They were always nice, you know, and it's not like you think. They're just regular people. They'd get in the back. I'd say, "Where are you going?" You know, we'd go in there, and they'd pay me and tip me, and everything was cool. But the funny part was, they'd pay me in $2 bills. I'd go home with like $45. I'd go back to the thing, and it's like I got to pay for my cab. It was like $92 a night, and I'd have to pay for that cab. And I'd walk in there, and I'd pay for that cab with 43 $2 bills or whatever. And I wasn't the only one that did it, trust me. Everybody knew what that was all about. Yeah, Denny's used to be wild after 2. I don't think there's any place even open after 2 o'clock anymore. Even our McDonald's are all closed now. Our Walmarts are closed. COVID ruined everything. Or should I say, the left's overreaction to COVID ruined everything. Fusackley's chicken tenders and sauce in Mobile, Alabama. Never heard of Fusackley's. I've only been through Mobile a couple times. Fusackley's. I hope I'm saying that right. Um, let's see here. I like Waffle House. Yeah, a lot of people like talk shit about Waffle House, but you know what? Everybody actually deep down inside likes Waffle House. I love to get that strip steak in there with 2 eggs up, and I like my hash browns scattered only. I don't want any scattered, smothered, covered, chunked, diced, or topped. I don't want any of that shit. I want just plain old potatoes. But yeah, I do. I like me some. I like me some Waffle House. We used to go over in the mornings after shift, me and my crew, and it got to the point where we used to call our own orders in. It was freaking. The waitresses used to love it because we would literally call our orders in. I'd be like 2 over plate, scattered only, and I would know exactly how to call my order in. It was hilarious. Um, yeah, cabbies have credit card machines now. Ain't it the truth? They were talking about getting those, but I was there, but it was still too early. Um, I used to go to Walmart at 2 in the morning. That's what I did. I literally would go to Walmart at 2 a.m. in the morning, and I would shop. And all I had to deal with was the employees and the boxes, and I'd rather deal with that than all the rest of the mess. All right, Gator, you have a good night. I'm getting ready to sign off too. I've been on two. I said I was only going to do 2 hours, and here we are, 2 hours and 40 minutes in. So, but I'm getting ready to go. I got a lot to do tomorrow. I got to get this going. I got a lot to do tomorrow. So I think I'm going to go ahead and get going, guys. Is there anything else? Throw it in the chat room real quick. Um, Yeah, when I was a cop, we got free coffee, free sodas anytime, as long as we'd sit there for a few minutes and talk to them. And then there was a lot of restaurants like we stopped a burglary at Arby's one night, and ever since then, instead of half price, they would tell us if we would park the car in front of the restaurant and we would go and sit in the restaurant and eat in the restaurant, they'd give it to us for free. And that went on for years. I don't know. It was going on for years. And most of our convenience stores would let you grab sandwiches and stuff. Just show it to them, and they go, "Yeah, you're fine, as long as you stand there in the restaurant and eat it and talk to the clerk and keep them from getting robbed." They were fine. Um, Thanks for the lie. What are you talking about? I think he means thank you for the live. You're welcome, Heath. Uh, um, yeah, everybody have a great night out there. I don't know about Waffle House. I don't remember. I know Arby's did, McDonald's, Burger King. Um, I think Wendy's was half price. I'm trying to think. We used to always laugh and joke that, our Florida Highway Patrol, FHP, we used to always tell people that stood for free or half price. Um, yeah, that volcano is about to blow again. Heath, not that I'm aware of, buddy. I don't know of anything going on right now. Um, but I didn't look at any actual forecasting. But I don't see anything in the pipe for Georgia. Look at that. There's nothing. That's live right now. So I don't see anything. Do you guys believe there is still power outages from 2 weeks to what is it, 3 weeks ago now, Heath? These people are still without power. This is Yalobusha County, and this is 1,164 customers still without power tonight. This is incredible to me. Benton County, 329, 569 in Tippah County. So this is just crazy. Marshall County, 234, 844 in Pinota County. And this is all in Mississippi. Do you guys believe that? I mean, that to me is crazy that there's still that many power outages. But anyway, that's all from that ice storm 3 weeks ago today. 3 weeks ago, 2 days ago, actually. Um, yeah, it's true. The less people that live near you, the longer you're going to wait for power restoration. I'll also tell you, if you're down here like me, if you're in a standard power company like Florida Power and Light, or as we call it, Florida Flicker and Flash, that is, you'll get your power back fairly quick after a hurricane. But see, here where I'm at, we're in an electric cooperative, and it takes twice as long for us to get our power back here. 78. Wow, it's a proverbial heat wave. Yeah, we should be moderating now for a while. I think we're going to see 2 or 3 weeks of mildness, some temperate nights coming for Georgia, and then probably towards the middle of March, we should transition back towards a little bit colder and busier pattern right towards the end of winter. The jet stream actually has a 6 or 7 week oscillation. Yeah, co-ops are terrible. They really are. They fight with everybody on how they're going to do things and this and that. And it certainly isn't any cheaper. I think it's actually cost us more per kilowatt, too. I understand why co ops started. This co op started because everybody was so spread out down here, and the islands were so spread out that they actually had to raise the money first in order to build the lines, and the regular power company wouldn't do it. So the cooperatives come in, and it's people. They get together, they create a board, they start raising money, and then they built the power infrastructure. And then once it's built, they begin to pay back the investors that originally put it in. It worked years ago. However, today it leaves people at a disadvantage over people who are not in a cooperative. Other things like our cooperative here, they don't even have a customer service counter. There is nowhere you can go and speak to someone at the power company. They closed that 7 years ago. There is nowhere you can go and speak to someone at your power company. The place is locked up tight. They won't see you. They won't talk to you. To pay your bill, you go to a foreign-owned convenience store. I'm not lying. That's where you pay your bill. You pay your power bill at foreign-owned convenience stores. If you need customer service, you have to call, and you have to go on, and you have to fill out the process, and they will supposedly call you back, although that hasn't been my experience. Victor, yeah, I can't do it right now, but that's a good idea. Remind me about that. We could talk about air pressure and standard atmospheric pressure and all that kind of good stuff one night, sure. I love doing little science talks, and that would be a good one. You were out, Heath was out of power for 3 days up there, but you got the whole house generator, and I think you've also got backup stuff for your ham stuff too. So yeah, you were fine. That's the way I am. I've got two of these big batteries, one this big and one about half this big, and these batteries. This battery will charge my phone 25 times. It's actually quite amazing. It'll run cameras and lights and things for days. The whole time I was at my cabin and I was upstairs, remember every night I was coming on for 30 minutes or an hour and a half or whatever, talking to you guys from my bed just before I went to bed every night? I had this up there. It was tied to the bottom of the tripod, right? Don't be so jumpy. Are you all right? You okay? You scared me there a little bit. That was weird. He got this dead look on his face. It's like, don't do that shit to me. All right, but this thing here was I have it strapped to the bottom of the tripod, like between two of the legs that come down. And then in the front of this, I had my camera charger, the air card, and then the two lights I was using, the red and blue light, these ones up here, they plug into this also. And so anything I need can plug into this. It has 6 USB plugs. It also has a barrel plug for 12 volts. So I could actually run smaller mobile radios and things like that off of it. I can charge all of my portable radios off of this. So it's an amazing thing to have. I picked up this flashlight for $25. This is one of the coolest things I bought in a little while. This is an amazing flashlight. It is extremely bright. I know I can't show you how bright it is on the camera, but it does literally. It is so freaking bright. And it focuses and it does everything. This was $25 at Home Depot. It's made by Husky. But what I ended up liking the most about it after I bought it was you pull the little this thing down and it charges. Look at this. It's a USB-C charger. It's a rechargeable, right? But guess what? You flip it around, it'll also charge your phone. Look at that. It will literally charge your phone. So I've already tested it out. I can put a wire on here and plug it into my phone, and this flashlight will fully charge my phone. So I keep this flashlight now with me in my bag. I carry it and a portable. I normally carry my Motorola P32 or the whatever it's called, the UV32. I normally carry that and my flashlight in my bag. And with those two things, I can now charge the radio or I can charge the phone with the flashlight because I keep the wire in there too. I don't have it here, but I've got two of those bungee wires that are on my red battery right now. And to me, that's like in my bag that I carry everywhere. I've got like a black man purse that I have in the car. I don't carry it around with me, but I always have it, you know, so many feet away in the car or at work by my console or whatever. And now I'm carrying this because I was carrying my red battery in there, but I don't need it anymore because this will now charge my phone. So that was a great buy. There's just certain things you want in that Go kit. You want a very versatile receiver like this one, you know, or one of these really versatile receivers, and you want a battery that you can charge flashlights and phones and things with. And these are some of the things you really should think about in your Go kit. You know, people always say, I'm going to have a radio in there. That's fine, but now, okay, the power's out. It's the end of the world. Did you program anything into that radio? I've got 1,000 channels programmed into my radios. I program every slot in the radio. I have Fort Myers, I have Lee, Collier, Charlotte, Sarasota, also Hillsborough, Highlands, Pasco County. I got everything for the whole coast here. Plus, I got the statewide system, the NI4CE system, and then I got the full set of frequencies for Atlanta, the full set of frequencies for Blairsville area up in the mountains. All that's already programmed. Plus, I got the full Marine band in there, the GMRS, the FRS, the MURS, and I got all my local fire, all my local power companies, the school buses. I've got every single thing that you could program into that radio programmed into it with the name on it so you can see it. And then you print that out and you fold it up and you put it down in your go bag. And now you have a radio that's actually worth something because you'll be able to find what you're wanting to listen to right away. Yeah, I mean, I use Chirp, but you want to program it before the emergency. That's the thing. You can always go and do it with the VFO. You can program it by just typing the numbers in. You can always do that, but you want to have it fully programmed so that when something happens, you've got everything you need in there. I like the Radtel. I do. I don't carry it for one reason. I can't program it. It has to be programmed on its own software. I'm waiting for Chirp. Chirp is going to be, it's right here. The radio's right here. This is a great radio. Probably one of my favorite radios. The only reason I'm not carrying it is because, again, you have to program it with its programming. And because of that, everything has to be manually typed in. I cannot, like, export and import my 1,000 frequency list. But no, this is a great radio. Love this radio. Has the best screen of any radio I've ever had. You have the frequency name, the frequency number, everything's right there. It's really good. I've got it in VFO mode right now. Yeah, see there, it's in channel mode. You can see the name of each frequency, the number of each frequency, everything's right there. Great radio. This thing was like, they're down to like $55. Everybody's bitching about Trump's tariffs, but the Chinese radios have actually gotten cheaper. So, go figure. But yeah, this is a great little radio. As soon as this radio is programmable on Chirp, I'm going to do a review and I'm going to recommend it. However, I can't do that until Chirp can program it because I don't recommend it right now. It's worthless to me. I did manually type in about 12 different things that I use all the time so I can carry it if I want to. Right now, I think it's one of the only radios on the market that has triple watch. You can actually listen to 3 frequencies at one time. The battery box, I don't know. I don't know who makes this. It's made by some Chinese company. Yeah, there's no name on it. It's 100. It's 100,000 milliamps or 100 amp hours is the size of the battery. It's a 100 amp hour battery, and works really well. It's got flashlight built in. It's got a red and white distress light. It's got it shows you exactly how much is left, how much voltage you're using, all that kind of good stuff. Really an amazing box. I love this. As far as who makes it, I don't know. I don't know. If you guys give me just a second here, I might be able to find it. Let me go back to my Amazon orders. Search all orders. I love Amazon because it's like a database of everything I've ever bought. Here we go. There it is. High capacity power bank. Let me see if it's still available. It is still available. $69.99. Stand by. Here comes the link. Wait, as soon as I figure out how to do it. They keep moving. I don't know if you've noticed, but Amazon keeps moving the link button. Yeah, I can't get it to come up with a link button. God, I hate that. I don't know why they don't just put a share button somewhere where it's easy to find. It does take a few days. It does take a couple weeks to get here. It's not a quick delivery. Shit, I don't know, guys. I'll tell you what, here's how to do it. I'm going to put in something and just put that into Amazon and it will come up. Just take what I just pasted in, put that into Amazon, it'll come up. I guess I could copy this link up here, but it's usually so long that YouTube doesn't like it. But there, you can try that link. Let me see if that link, yeah, that link works. Try that link. So yeah, $70. And like I said, I use it it runs my lights, my stage lights. All but one of my stage lights right now are well, all but 2 of my stage lights are USB. So I can literally take my 2 batteries out there and I don't have to run cables. If we're going to go do a photo shoot or if I'm going to set up for a live, I don't run cables. I sit a battery there and I plug everything into that battery and it runs for the whole event. The one I have, the red tail, hold on, it'll tell me when I think it's the 880. Yes, it's the KT880, Kilo Tango 880. They do make a bigger one that does a few more things than this. That's about $10 more. But this one does everything I care about. It also receives all the way down into the HF band. You want to know something really cool? See this knob? It's not a knob. It's a cap. That's your HF antenna right there. See that? That's where you hook the HF antenna in. Isn't that crazy? So it actually has 2 antenna ports. I love this radio. I do. I love the feel of it. It feels like it's got like the weight of a Motorola. Feels really good. It's got the dual transmit buttons, and you decide what you want the buttons to do. All the buttons are programmable, at least the ones on the side. It also it has programming and charging through the same port, which is kind of unique. Most of the Baofengs have charging. Charging is one port, and programming is a separate port. I do prefer the Baofengs because they charge the battery directly. This one actually charges through the radio. But Either one works fine. I like the direct USB charging. Notice I do keep the charging stations. I do use them. I've got them. I set this shelf up here. I guess you guys probably saw that already. This shelf, actually, I just put this shelf up here. And it's got just all my portable radios on it up there. So that way I can grab things. But I do still carry, use the rockers to keep the radios upright. But the truth is, you don't need them anymore. You can just plug your charger in just like you do your phone. So everybody should have one of these, even if you're not a ham. Even if you're not a GMRS licensee, it doesn't matter. You should have one of these in your Go kit. And it should be programmed completely for your town and the surrounding towns. When the power goes off, you should be able to go right to your radio and go, boom, there's the power company. Let's hear what's going on. Some of you may even still be able to pick up law enforcement, fire, and EMS on these radios. Most places have moved up the spectrum. It's the Radtel 8. It's the RT880. It's the Radtel 880. Yeah. I think I got a link for it. Hold on. Try this link. That's the one I bought there. Let me see if the link, yeah, that link works. Try that link. This one, that one there doesn't come with all the fancy frills, but it does come with the programming cable, which is the one thing you need. These also have crossband repeaters in them. Just watch your heat. They don't have good heat dissipation. But yeah, really, really great radios. Like I said, I suggest everybody gets a radio like this. Get this, or the one I would recommend right now is the UV32 from Baofeng, or the UV25 from Baofeng. Those are both really, really good radios for like Go kits, for rugged use. The UV32, which is the public safety looking radio, and the UV25, which is kind of the Motorola throwback. Wow, there it goes again. It just exploded. That's the Fuego volcano in Guatemala. Whoa. That just shot rocks a mile into the air. Holy crap. Oh, neighbor. Baofeng does have a few that are water resistant, that are supposed to be waterproof. Yeah, it's one of them things. You may consider buying a bag. They make bags that fit your handheld radio, and it keeps it dry. Yeah, listen, none of the Chinese radios were designed to be scanners. They were designed to be radios. So the scanning is kind of like an afterthought. But they do it. They'll scan by frequency. They'll scan by channel in your program channel list or whatever. But the truth is, scanning is an afterthought. That's not the reason for the season. TID radio, they've got some good stuff. I don't think I have any TID radio stuff, but I've not heard anything really negative. Yes, the UV32, one of the things I don't like about it, but I'm getting used to, is the UV32 puts its channels in channel banks. You can only scan one channel bank at a time. However, you can use that to your advantage by programming it so that all the stuff you might want to scan for a certain thing is in one bank and another bank, and that way, you know, when it comes down to it, you'll need to scan. I personally don't think, like for me here, I only scan like 7 channels, because the more you put on the scan list, the more it's just going to hang up and pick up garbage and everything else. So I limit, I put the little S for skip on every single channel, all 1,000 channels. And then I'll go back and turn on about 7 channels. Maybe the fire channel in my area, which is still simulcast on VHF. Maybe Marine 16. Maybe 3 of my ham radio repeaters, the SARNet statewide, and maybe the NI4CE regional system. And that's it. That's all I would put on scan. Everything else would just be there, would be there, but not scanned. I think, yeah, you can't like choose the banks individually. Some radios are allowing that now, but the 32 I don't think does that, at least not in this firmware edition. Yellow, we could do, you okay, kitty? We could do a whole show on this, absolutely. And I did shows. This is what we did, was ham radio shows. This is what I did. But I couldn't get an audience. I peddled for 3 years trying to do a ham radio show. And I couldn't get an audience. And finally somebody sat me down one day and said, you know, only 1 in 10,000 people give a shit what you're doing. You need to find something that has more give a shits. And I looked at that person and said, you know, you're smart. And that's when I kind of started changing my format towards breaking news. I started talking about my politics, which I didn't do back then. We started talking about all kinds of different things. And I opened it up to not only include the science things that we did and the radio things that we did, but also all the stuff we're doing now, the multi-screen news, covering all the different things happening, the protests, the storms, the storm chasers, you know, all that kind of stuff. So, you know, it is what it is. I've had to change over the years because I had to realize, you know, the 2 best amateur radio channels, one guy I like and the one guy I can't stand, but there's only 2 really good amateur radio channels, and they've just got 100,000 subs, 150,000 subs, and they've been doing it for 10 years. And they've been working their ass off, and that's as far as they're going to go. Because there's only so many ham radio people. There's only a couple 100,000 or whatever in the country. I don't know what the actual number is, but there's less than 1 million. I know that. It's a small percentage. And when you start looking at the percentage of ham radio, if I only appeal to ham radio people, I could work my ass off for the rest of my life and never see that silver plaque. And so I've decided that I have to branch out. But that doesn't mean that at the end of the night, when I should already be signed off an hour and 8 minutes ago, that we can't sit around and talk radio for a little while. I love it. And I think it interests a lot more people than just ham radio people. And here's why. Because radio applies to everybody. Whether you're a boat captain or a pilot or you are a doomsday prepper, or you are a contester, or you are someone that just enjoys science, no matter what category you fit in, it's all radio. Radio is the study of science. It's amazing. Well, you can get your ham license. It's a federal thing. The test is easy. They give you the answers ahead of time. There's nothing to it. You just memorize the right answer for 300 questions. Walk in there, score over a 70, and you get your license. It's really no big deal. Yeah. Yeah, I've got a lot of radios. My HF rigs, I got an FT100. That I'm working on. It works, but I'm having some final issues with it. I got my big rig, my boat anchor. I've got an ICOM 756 Pro 2. That's an amazing radio, wonderful radio. And then for contesting in the car and stuff, I bought the FT710 just recently from Yaesu. That is an amazing radio. And then I've got a smattering of other things. I got a Kenwood VHF all mode, which I really like. I do VHF sideband using a horizontally polarized Yagi with that. And then I got a couple of VHFs up here that I use for different things. But yeah, I'm completely set up here in the shack. I mean, it looks like a TV studio or a starship, but it actually is a ham shack too. Can I show you what? Mm. Yeah, CB is fun. I like the 7.2. That's why I got that channel up over on the other channel. I got a live stream up of the 7.2, which is kind of like the dark side of ham radio. It's a lot of fun. Um, oh yeah, yeah, I could do that. I can certainly do that. Um, the neat thing about ham radio is you get in and you start buying Chinese equipment. Next thing you know, you're starting to buy used HF equipment. And then before long, you're buying your first $1,200 rig. Wow, look at that thing going over. Well, CB is just so full of everybody. That's the only reason I don't use it. I don't hate it. I don't dislike it. It's full. It's just full of everybody. And it's just basically everybody yelling over everybody else. And now they got FM and they got sideband, but where do you find these people? I mean, I don't know. No, Chinese equipment is not bad. It gets better every day, actually. They probably do spy on us. Everybody spies on everybody. We're spying on them right now. They're spying on us. Everybody spies. That's why I don't care. It is what it is. I don't I'm not robbing banks or growing pot, so it really doesn't matter what I do, I don't care if they listen to me, whatever. Doesn't really bother me. They're looking in your windows at night. I don't care. I go to nudist places. What do I care? Um, yes. Yeah, if they're spying on us through their equipment, they can see about 80% of the things there is to see here in this country right now. Um, yeah, and if they want to spy on my cameras, then good. They can keep an eye on my garbage cans while I'm at work. Um, oh, absolutely. I have seen photographs of guys uh, that are like from Ukraine, and yeah, they're using Baofengs in the field. That I've seen them on their uniforms. I'm like, that's a Baofeng UV-25. I can see it right, or not a 25. It was a UV-17. They all had green UV-17s, and I was like, holy shit, they're using UV-17. But that's a good radio. Listen, they're not going to afford $1,200 Motorola's right now. Here's a radio that you can pass one out to everybody, and if it gets blown up, it doesn't matter. Um, yeah, no, I think it's great. Um, it's better than nothing. Look, let me tell you something. If I was back in the day, if I could get a hold of radios that do what these do at the volunteer fire department. Remember, I was paid there, but we were mostly volunteer. We had 8 or 9 paid people, and we had 40 volunteers and about 12 support people. So we were a big department as far as that goes. And with this, every one of my volunteers could have had a radio. No one would ever be without a radio again. I would make sure that every single person was carrying around a radio. As it was, we only had about 7 or 8 of these in the whole department. The officers all had their own, and then each truck had one, and that was it. That was it. I think we had like 12 of them in the whole department, maybe 10 portable radios in the whole department. So when 50 guys were on the scene, 40 of them didn't have a radio. But that was the reality back then. Even at the sheriff's department, I would go in to check out a shift, and they'd be like, "We're out of radios," and I'm like, "So what? I just sit in the car all night?" I mean, but that's the way it was back then. These radios, those STX radios, were $1,600 a pop when I was a cop. Motorola STX, huge things. They called them the brick, and or a sticks or a brick. They call them sticks or brick. Those things were huge, and they were $1,400, depending on what model you bought. So not everybody got one. Nowadays, we could hand them this, and if it gets broke, it gets broke. It's $40. So yeah, amazing. And by the way, in adjusted dollars, this is a $23 radio from back then. This would have cost them $23, which back then was still just the price of a decent steak dinner. So I think that I wish I would have had these back then. I really do. It would have been a lot safer for everybody. Armor trunk channels. Okay. First thing you have to do is figure out what system it is. It's probably Motorola P25. Then you have to figure out if it's encrypted or not. Now, here's what you can do. This takes a little bit of doing, but you can do it. Let me get this stuff together here real quick, and then I'm going to get out of here because I really need to get to bed. I said I was going to try to get to bed early tonight, and here it is almost 1 o'clock in the morning. So let's see. Let me put this in here. Let me find it. Hold on. Oh, no, that's not it. It's I haven't done this in a while, but okay, I'm going to give you this to get you into the neighborhood. You buy an RTL SDR. You guys know what those are? Those are the little radio, little computer radios you plug into your computer. They're STR, RTL SDR. You buy one of those, they're cheap. Hold on, I'll get you a link for that. Okay, and you want to buy the God, I wish they had a link button on here. Why would they take the link button away? There used to be a link button on the picture, but it's gone now. What a pain in the ass. I don't know, guys. The link's too long. It won't let me put it in. Why don't they have a share button? You would think that they would want you to share this with other people, right? There is no share button anywhere. All I want to do is just share it, but it won't do it. Damn it. Oh well. Here, just type this in. You need one of these. They're about $40. RTL SDR. Just type that in. It'll come up. You need one of those. That's your radio. That's the receiver. It's like $40. You plug that into your computer, and it turns your computer into a scanner, basically. Now you go and you download um, the information you need. There's a program called it's like an MP3 decoder, and all the information is there. You just have to find it in that page that I sent you, and it talks all about P25 systems and all that. This is easily possible to do, and I have done it here, but our law enforcement here went encrypted, so all I can get's the fire channels and stuff. Boy, that thing just went off again. Look at that. The fire channels I get, that's about it. So I haven't. I turned it off, and the Windows computer would not stay stable. About every 12 hours, it would shut down or lock up, and so I just quit doing it because it was a pain in the ass. I just wish I could find that piece of software that we used to use. Shit, I'm sorry. I'll find this and get it to you. Um, the RTL SDR program called SDR Sharp. There is a plugin for that that will do it, but there's another program that just does it. I think it's called SDR Trunk. That sounds like it. Let me see. You can try this. I think this is the program I used to use. You could start there. Um, but yeah, you can do this. It's not that difficult. You can also use it to pick up aircrafts, you know, telemetry signals, and you can use it for all kinds of different things. It's absolutely amazing. Yeah, yeah, SDR Trunk. Thank you. You got it just before I did. Um, the P24. Yeah, that's it. It's called the Motorola P25 system, and it is yeah, it's like that. Listen, if you guys, this is the other radio I was just talking about. This is that Baofeng UV32, and notice it's the public safety design that has the radio on one side and the speaker on the other. I'm telling you, I thought that was stupid at first, but it works so much better. The knobs work better the way they've got them designed. This is the public safety format, they call it, you know, or design for the radio. And this one also has a beautiful big screen, and this is the Baofeng UV32. This one's down under $50 as well. And another really good radio. So there's some really good radios out there, guys, that are under $50. Literally great radios that are under $50. So that's a good deal. All right. Anything else, guys? I'm heading out. Well, Canada, there is so many different kinds of ham radio. I got one over here that's this big. It's this big. It's like a big boat anchor. And yeah, it does great. It talks on all these different bands. I can talk to people around the world when the conditions are right. But it's too big to go in my car. So I bought one of the newer ones, which is about half the size. And it goes on the dashboard of my car. It's still too big to mount anywhere. But then the VHF and UHF stuff's gotten really small. And you can mount that. It's got heads that separate and different things. So when you say ham radios, there's 50 different kinds of ham radios that talk on. There's thousands of kinds that talk in 50 different ways, and so it's one of those things. No, you didn't hijack it. No, you're fine. No, you do not need a special antenna. However, the antenna, it does mean a lot. If you just stick a wire in there and run it out the window, just a piece of wire, and you shove it in the little hole and run it out the window, that'll work okay. It's much better to buy the right antenna and stick it up on your roof and run the wire down and hook it up. That's the best way to do it. You can buy you whatever you want. Like if you want to pick up a P25, like let's say you're wanting to pick up your local sheriff's department's P25 and you're wanting to put it on Broadcastify, if that were me, I would buy a Una Yagi antenna, a directional, a beam as we call it, and I would beam it so that you get a perfect signal every time. And it actually would aim right at that tower. And then I would hook it up and set it up permanently on a computer that's always running. Cobra's good equipment. It's no better or worse than anything else, but it's good equipment. It's a step above the standard Chinese stuff for sure, but it's probably all Chinese made now. Remember, everything's Chinese made. It's just when you buy a good name brand, they really keep an eye and make sure that their stuff's being made properly. That's the difference. Yeah, SDR trunk antennas are easy because remember you're picking up 800 megahertz or whatever. It's just a little antenna. You can buy some little antenna to go right outside your window. If you're near the tower, you won't even need that. You could just literally, there's a little antenna that probably comes with it, a little screw-on antenna. That might be all you need. However, inside your house, right next to the computer, is a really bad place for an antenna. So unless the trunk smart antenna is really close that you're hitting, I would get you a little wire and a little SMA plug and run it outside and put a little antenna on the side or on the top of your house so that it picks up. If it's got static on it all the time, you're not going to want to listen to it. What I mean is when you're transmitting, the antenna has to be perfect or you'll mess your radio up. However, when you're receiving, just about any extension of unshielded wire out there will give you an antenna. It will bring in the signal. However, if you put up a properly lengthed antenna with proper cabling and proper connections, you get a lot more. All I'm saying is if you have nothing, let's say you order it and it comes in and you have nothing to hook up to it, you could take a 20-foot piece of speaker wire and just twist it up and shove it inside that hole, and that would give you a decent amount of antenna receiving right there. And then if you run that wire outside, you get a lot more. I would personally buy a little antenna to go on the roof or build your own. Hey, Stealth, how's it going? Yeah, the RT, the 950 is great. The 880 is great. Um, yeah, I'm kind of impressed with these little Radtel radios. I've been using this one to listen to aircraft too, and it does pretty good. I hook it up to an antenna on the roof that's not even cut to the right length, and I can listen to planes that are 40 miles away. It's pretty good. It's got a great little receiver in it. I don't think it receives in single sideband. That's the only thing. At least not with the current update that's in it. Yeah. All right, guys, I'm going to let it go. I've been on 3.5 hours tonight. It's been my pleasure to be your host tonight. I hope you guys enjoyed it. A night when there's absolutely nothing going on, craziness. It's actually crazy to not have something crazy going on tonight, so that's cool. Yeah, there you go. There's so much to monitor on radio, and it's so much fun. And when you get into decoding digital and stuff, it really does become fun. Yep. All right. Well, there you go, guys. All right. I hope you guys have had a good night. I am going to play us out with some music, so you'll have a few minutes to say goodbye to everybody in the chat room. I do appreciate everybody coming in tonight. And, of course, as always, I do appreciate, the support that you guys give the channel. On the way out tonight, we're going to hear a song about how Alex Kurtzman ruined Star Trek. And then I'm going to shut it down. You guys have a good night out there. All right. And a safe tomorrow. My name is Ian. This has been the Monday night edition of the Sights and Sounds of Earth. And I hope that you guys come back tomorrow night at 9 p.m. for another show. We'll see you guys then. Have a good one. Good night, everybody. 7-3.
Star Trek meant something. Alex Kurtzman, you hack. Consider this your send-off. You killed the franchise and we're singing over the grave. I used to be my pride, watch the stars unfold. Bold explorers, logic sharp, stories pure as gold. Then came Kurtzman, Grim Reaper in a suit, turned the Enterprise into a woke-ass reboot. 'Cause in the day that clown sniffed around the set, now it's teen drama trash, the franchise is dead. Greatest sci-fi ever, no! Shut all over Roddenberry's core. Oh, Alex Kurtzman, you ruined Star Trek. Woke Trek forever. What a pathetic wreck. Barefoot captains, pajama queens on the bridge. Cadets fat and whiny playing high school gigs. DA checklists, Virgin signal and lectures. Force-gate pandering feelings over vectors. You hate the show, you hate the fans, you hate the dream. Starfleet Academy, more like a bad fever dream. Beat me the hell out of here, Scotty, I'm done. Captain Nalaka, Holly Hunter's barefoot joke, strutting in PJ's no shoes. Someone's got a fetish poke. Talks like gravel in her mouth, sits like a smug damn cat. Refuses to split a kid from a crook. Starfleet, where's that at? Oh, power to forward shields while getting hit from behind. Technical idiocy shows you got no mind. Women always stronger, smarter, morally supreme. Men bumbling props in your feminist fever dream. Cadets supposed to be elite, fat, dumb, and out of shape. toxic tears on tape. Insubordination daily, no discipline in sight. Mouth off to superiors, get a hug, yeah, that's right. Flat as cardboard, one-dimensional D-bots. Speed run arcs faster than a warp core plot. Everyone's queer-coded, not representation, just force. Preachy therapy speed, empathy circles, of course. Oh, Alex Kurtzman, you ruined Star Trek. Woke Trek forever. What a pathetic wreck. Barefoot captains, pajama queens on the bridge. Cadets fat and whining, playing high school gigs. EA checklists, virtue signaling lectures. Force gay pandering feelings over vectors. You hate the show, you hate the fans, you hate the dream. Starfleet Academy, more like a bad fever dream. Beam me the hell out of here, Scotty, I'm done. Writing's cringeworthy, dialogue preachy and lame. Juvenile jokes fall flat, embarrassing shame. Grainy visuals, cheap effects, sound mix from hell. Lord butchered, cannon trashed, nostalgia bait smell. Pacing's garbage on tears, forced drama galore. Teen soap on Nickelodeon, couldn't be more poor. Viewership tanked, charts dropping like red shirts in a fight. Low scores ain't bombing, fans just saw the light. Ruined Discovery, Picard, strange new worlds too. Lower decks tried, but you poisoned that crew. Turned hope and exploration into leftist lecture halls. Discipline's oppression, men are useless, women got balls. Over-reliance on Easter eggs, desperate and sloppy. No fresh ideas, just wrecking what's copied. Kurtzman, your secret hideout, king of the con. You don't get Trek, you hate it, and it's gone. Oh, Alex Kurtzman, you ruined Star Trek. Woke Trek forever. What a pathetic wreck. Barefoot captains, pajama queens on the bridge. Cadets fat and whining, playing high school gigs. DA checklists, virtue signaling lectures. Force gay pandering feelings over vectors. You wrote the epitaph, killed the best franchise alive. Starfleet Academy, proof the dream don't survive. Beam me the hell out of here, Scotty. I'm done. Yeah, I'm done. So skip this trash, real fans, let it die in the dark. Kurtzman, take your woke coat and shove it where it sparks. Star Trek was bold, it was hope, it was true. Now it's your tombstone. Your
All right, guys, that's going to be our show tonight. This concludes our broadcast day here on the sights and sounds of Earth on Starship Adventures. We're glad you guys came. We broadcast live from North Fort Myers, Florida, from our private studio here. We broadcast all over the world on YouTube, and we really appreciate you guys joining us out there. Thank you very much for being a supporter of the channel. Please hit that like and subscribe on your way out. And we'll see everybody tomorrow night at 9 p.m. Eastern, right here on the Sights and Sounds of Earth on Starship Adventures. 7-3, everybody. Have a good night and a safe tomorrow. KO4 EFS QSY.